Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real. Wake up, wake up, wake up, you wake up, you wake up, you wake. Where did that come from? Do you remember that? School days! I took it all the way back. I did that last night when we were doing the All-Star Benefit concert. It was off the chain. Had a great time. I'm going to do the recap. Today's title of the show is It's That Time. Yes, it's that time for us to just shop, talk, chop it up, and see how we can help each other, not just during the tragedy, but just come together. It's that time for us to merge, come from different worlds, different avenues, different genres, and just say, okay, boom, let's merge. And with this incident, in case some of you guys don't know and not from the area, there was a family of five babies died, and the mom, she jumped out the window. You know, she lived, but she lost her 5 kids. And I'm telling you, it was that time. The merge. That's what I should have titled it. The merge. The merge. The merge. Not the purge. The merge. Too bad I can't go back. But I thought that they had a benefit dinner, which was on, what was that, Tuesday?
They had
or Wednesday?
2. One was Tuesday, the spaghetti dinner, and then they had the fish fry at a church yesterday. So
I know nothing about no fish fry.
The fish fry sold out. The spaghetti dinner sold out. I was able to go to the spaghetti dinner. It was awesome. If you did not know where the and I can't think now of the establishment that hosted it.
Flames.
Yes. If you didn't know where it was as you were going up Market Street in Youngstown, once you saw all the police cars, you knew exactly where it was because there were so many people there to support the event. Traffic was backed up down Market Street. So I stood outside for about a half hour and finally got in to get my spaghetti dinner. The turnout, the support for this young lady and her family has just been overwhelming. It's awesome. And like Mel said, it would be nice to see that all the time outside of just tragedy. Because what we are doing is we are showing that we have compassion for each other. We are showing that we have the means, financially, spiritually, and emotionally to help and support one another. It would be nice if we could channel all of this energy into something beyond this tragic event. And I would love to express my condolences to this mom and the family. It has to be very difficult to have lost all of your children. You know, she jumped out of the window running for help and just was not able to get to her children in time. So our thoughts and prayers go out to her and her family.
Yes, yes, and yes. That's Kim the go-to girl coming on. Hey! Let's put it out there. Every time she comes, let me tell y'all, every time she comes, she got this Dallas Cowboys stuff on.
Hey!
Now, I don't say nothing because I'm a Steelers fan, but I mean, she repping Dallas Cowboys way more than she probably didn't even know I was a Steelers fan.
Because I would have had on a hat and some other things had I known that. Although after last week, I got to give you some leeway because we took it on the hat last week. We got creamed. So we're not even going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that. All right, let's talk about the, you said the spaghetti dinner was successful. The fish fry sold out. Mm-hmm. So that was successful. Yes. I didn't even know about the fish fry. The benefit concert, which was at East High School, which, was really cool. Shout out to Mohib for offering the building. I mean, like the community really came together and said, okay, this is what we are going to do. When I say an all-star cast, it was an all-star cast. You had the news reporters there. You had Damon Maloney. Shout out to you. That is my cat when he was here. I love me some Damon Maloney. He came back to be a presenter. So you had different MCs. You had Patricia Rudolph with Side Effects. You had, of course, myself. You know what I mean? Hey. You had Milena, I can't remember her last name. She's a new newscaster presenting. Tell me some presenting like it was an award show. I felt like it was an award show. I
saw you live. Yes, it was awesome. I saw it.
I felt like it was an award show. Okay. And the talent was outstanding. Keelan Logan brought him back, 100 Proof. out of retirement because he said he was done with that. Remember we were talking about it? Was like Mr. 100. He was on the show 2-3 weeks ago, and he brought it. Had a great time with him. Also, because he did a rap. Crime Blood, I believe, was the name of the rap that he did, which was so deep. Also, we had world national recording artist, jazz artist, James Lloyd. Keyboardist. Oh man, listen, if you're a Watercolors fan like me on Sirius XM, jazz is it. That is the guy. If you heard of Pieces of a Dream, yes, that's the one that's on keys. That is James Lloyd. He has a CD, which is one of my faves. If you went to my Mingle with Medicine, you heard me play it. It was looped because I like jazz. And that is his Here We Go album. People still calling them albums or CD. I'm dating myself. Like, still calling them albums. But that Here We Go, if you don't have it, listen, that thing is out of sight. It is out of sight. DJ Bandcamp came from Kentucky. I was like, whoa. And the benefit to it, DJ Bandcamp, if you guys don't know, he graduated from Ursuline. Went on, decided he wanted to be a DJ. And I don't know the full story, but I know his mom very well. And his father is James Lloyd. The keyboardist, the jazz musician, is his dad. And he decided he wanted to be a DJ. Boom, did it. Went on out. And now he is the official DJ for the Indiana Pacers. Also, Amarion. And I can't remember who else it is. So when you see DJ Bandcamp, when you hear it, that's it. Now, I don't know where DJ Bandcamp came from, the Bandcamp, but we ain't gonna worry about it. But he graduated from Ursuline.
Ursuline!
He graduated from Ursuline. Rogar, what's happening? Your boy to shut down. We on the break.
Shut it down.
We on the
man.
break.
He going berserk, man. But this is something that people would need to realize. He wants to shut down Americans having the ability to get paid for their work to make a border wall for a country that we are not at war at. There is no, you know what I mean, that the border has been secure, that we've been doing whatever we need to do. But he said, I want this wall because this is what I said. And he said in the beginning that Mexico was going to pay for it. So why you shutting down our government? Because you said Mexico was going to pay for this wall that you wanted.
Right.
Crazy.
There's this guy in Arizona. He's a veteran and he's lost some limbs. He started a GoFundMe page with a goal of $1 billion to build this wall in support of Trump. And he has raised $1 million. So now there is a GoFundMe page for people who want to stand and help people cross over the wall that's raised $20,000. So you have this guy who's raised $1 million to build the wall, and you have this other group who so far has raised $20,000 to put ladders on the wall to help people cross over.
But that's really all you need is like $20,000. You get rope ladders. That's like a piece of board with some rope. You can build a gang of ladders with $20,000. You know. But the thing is that the more important part of that is that the Supreme Court has ruled against his rule, what he put into place on amnesty. What Trump said was that he put a rule in place where if you are seeking asylum here in the United States, if you don't enter the borders correctly, that you'll be rejected, right? The Supreme Court ruled against that. And the important part of that is like this, is that Roberts, who is a conservative, voted with the liberals on the court to make sure that did not happen. So if those people enter the country illegally, they can still seek asylum. Yeah. Ruth Bader Ginsburg has also is recovering from lung cancer. This is her third bout. She's 85 years young. We're so happy that she is hanging on in there. We need to, be strong, girl. Be strong. Be strong, be strong, be strong. Because we need you, we need you, we need you. Use this time to recover. I don't know if you're listening, but I'm a fan. Use this time to recover. You got this little break over Christmas. I heard everything's going well. You'll be back at it. And we just want to keep her well and healthy. And God bless her and keep her young give her 120 years. We need it. Thank you, Jesus.
I guess it would be wrong for me to play loose ends right now. Hanging on strings now. Don't play that, DJ. Don't do it. All right, well, I knew you had something to say because you were sitting there. I just felt it. I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Now we're going to revert right back to the benefit. No, it's cool because we was going to get into the politics, but I seen it was there. It was there.
Yeah, fire.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was trying not to say. See, before we went on air, I always use the word, fire. I'm like, that was on fire. Boom, boom. That's fire. You know what I mean? That's hot. Well, I, was emceeing, because I had a presenter, but I didn't say it last night for the benefit. I had to make sure I was cognizant of what I said. And, sometimes, I said off the chain. I had to go throwback. Yeah, that was fine. But, I didn't want to use those terms because the benefit was for the children.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had to be aware. So I'm proud of myself. I was pretty good. I was paying attention to what I said. I was like, okay, boom, because I'm telling you, the talent was freaking amazing. I was talking about DJ Bandcamp, Danita Howard, evangelist Danita Howard. She's saying, encourage yourself. Killed it. I couldn't say that either last night. I had to make sure I watched those terms too. But y'all know what I mean today. Today I can talk. Look at him looking around. She slammed. There you go.
Yeah.
Slammed. Soon as she opened her mouth. I mean, soon as she hit with some. When she said that, you know how when you first started song, you know how church, and then you be like, that morning sound, you like, is it my ears or is it that morning voice still there? Soon as she hit the psalm, she didn't even get to the time. I was like, whoa. She shut it down. And they have some clips of that on the news. They put some of that on there. I'm going to put some on the Facebook page, but she shut it down. That a gospel choir, I can't remember the name of it, so I'm sorry, but they did excellent. It was a phenomenal show.
The story made the front of the page of the Vindicator.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
It was a phenomenal show. I was proud to be a part of it. It was good to see the people all came together and was like, this is what we're going to do. I'm like, even though you have that crab syndrome like we talked about last week, I said, with tragedy, it just brings people together. And it's a sad thing, but everybody merged. It was like the merge. That's why I said the show should have been called The Merge. Different genres, backgrounds, everybody just came together for one common goal, and that was to make sure that this girl get all the help that she needs. Right now, I want to let you guys know, in case you don't know, $33,000 was raised with these fundraisers. There's one on Sunday still. New Bethel from 4 to 8, which is a gospel concert, which is going to be fun. I love me some good gospel music. Something about some good gospel music. But last night at East High, they raised $2,500. And it was a free concert. But it ended up, with donations, it was
so that means from the heart, people raised $2,500. So that's great.
I thought that was awesome. I just had a good time. I had a good time yesterday. And I had fun. You know how hard it is to have fun with the way that the world is?
I know, because let me think. I didn't get done working yesterday until about like 8 o'clock.
Ooh!
So it was dark when you went to work and dark when you got off.
I came home when it was light, but I was still like doing like, it was kind of dark. It was on the darkish.
It was on the darkish.
It was. I got home right about like 6:30, and I was just working until and I said like it's 8 o'clock. It's middle of time, so.
It's like you got to.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I don't know. I'm burned out.
You burned out?
And the days are so short. Yesterday's the shortest day of the year. It was the solstice yesterday. So now the days will start to gradually get longer again. So I'm happy about that.
Okay.
Because it was dark at 5 o'clock yesterday.
And it was.
Yes.
It was good and dark. I ran up to the Walgreens, y'all need to pay me. Ran up there and grabbed me something. I was like, well, let me get some gum or something. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I said, well, I felt like it was like 4:30 when I went in. It came out, it was like dark. I was like, what happened? I wasn't here that long.
Yeah, I was done. It was one of those days where you go to sleep early, and then when you wake up, you be like, oh, it's the next morning, and it only be like midnight. You're like, oh, I got like 8 more hours of sleep. Oh! And it's crazy, man, but I don't know.
Something's going on, but let's talk about Youngstown. My hometown, we got to talk about you. Youngstown has to be, listen, if you are successful in Youngstown, you cold.
What's
the
success?
Crowd, listen. If you do any type of entertainment.
Oh, entertainment, okay.
Entertainment. And you know what? I'm going to say everything is entertainment. Whatever you are doing, even speaking in front of your crowd in Youngstown, they sitting there stone-faced, arms crossed, like, entertain me.
Yeah.
Like the king. You know what I mean? The king with the jester. Be like, show me something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, give me a break.
Yeah. It's a hard, From my commencement speeches, I know. They be like, you gotta know what crowd to do what with, man. Because it's even in the youngsters. They be like, I'm not entertained. I am not entertained.
And that
was not funny.
Right.
Listen. Did not play.
I walked out. It was so funny because you had the people and you look at the crowd and it's like, okay. I said, what is this? A remake of Coming to America? I like Sexual Chocolate. I like, come on, give it up. It was the artist was amazing. And they were like,
it's like you're always on audition when you do something here. Like it's an audition. Like prove to me that you are worth my time.
And they the judges, worse than the Apollo. I think if you want to go on the Apollo, just come to Youngstown first. If you make it here, you are gonna soar.
Yeah.
Right.
I think because it's people, you live a hard life, man. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where like, you got to be special.
But shouldn't you be more apt to laugh? If you live a hard life, if you feel as though you live a hard life, you be like, okay. I laugh at the quirky stuff. Now, and I do. I be like, now that's funny. Now the entertainer might be there, but I'm looking at the drummer. I be like, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at everything. But you have to you have to enjoy the experience. And I think once people start enjoying the experience, live in the moment, and not judge, like you said, like an audition, and be like, oh, okay. I think it'll be better. But I'm going to tell y'all, because y'all know I'm shop talk, and I got to keep it 100. Listen, now we know that this was a benefit. Anybody that knows me know I am an observer. So I'm going to watch. And that's what I was doing. I'm backstage. I'm watching. People weren't, part of the program. I guess they felt as though they didn't want to be a part. I'll put it that way. I don't know what they were thinking, but I think it was like, no, I seen some artists. I ain't going to put their name out there. Usually I'll do, but I'm not going to do that. I seen some artists that were there. Why did you come? You came to see the turnout? And then you said, well, they didn't ask me. So you feeling bad because somebody didn't ask you?
Validation.
Well,
validation, like you said.
I think the thing was that it happened so rapidly, and like it was like because I heard a little bit of feedback just being out, and some of the thing was like I just think the thing was that there was something that happened and nobody knew how to engage in how it happened. That's what I got.
Well, I'll tell you exactly how it happened. Mm-hmm. It was an idea. Like, we could just sit there and be like, hey, boom, we're getting ready to do this.
Yeah.
And so your people, now it was posted on Facebook and it was like, hey, we need to do a benefit immediately. Like, everybody's not posted.
But when people say it's posted on Facebook, what does that mean? Listen, if I'm not your friend, I don't get it.
Exactly. But here's the thing. The spaghetti dinner, that was somebody's idea. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Boom. That particular thing, that's like me having something. Okay, I'm putting it there. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about doing da-da-da-da-da. Are you on board? Different people say, yes, I'm on board. So that's who it was. It was like, okay, here you go. And then you heard about it. The same thing with the spaghetti dinner. You heard it on the news, just as you did with this too. Boom. And then you could contact somebody if you want to be a part, or do your own. Why come to sit there and try to condemn and see who's there? And I hate to use the word hate, but throw shade on, well, I wasn't part of it. And I ain't going to say the name. I don't want to slip up, but I don't want to. I probably will. But there's like, didn't nobody ask me because I was going to give him so-and-so. He said his name.
So why did you have to ask? Be asked. If you want to give,
we volunteer. Everybody on there volunteered just like me. It wasn't like they called and said, hey, Mel, can you be a presenter? They said, you on board? Boom, whatever you need, I'm there. Okay, I need you to do this.
But you had a connection. You know what I mean? You had a connection to
the person that was doing it.
thing.
Well, I knew somebody that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that. I think that was the thing. It was like there was no central call to say, hey, everybody who wants to be involved in this, do this. You know what I mean? And I think
but that's an issue. You shouldn't have to. Because it's like if I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting ready to sell some rib dinners. Have a rent party. You know what I'm saying? And you know me. Remember rib parties off of Good Times?
Good times. Yeah.
But so what? I didn't ask you to perform in the living room. Okay. Can't you just come and support? There were other people that were there that just came and support, because here's the common goal. It's not about you. It wasn't about the individual. It is about the cause and the common goal. This is it. We want to raise some money. Boom. How can I put it? And this one person said, well, I had the idea first. That's what they said. So I know they listening, but you had the idea first. They didn't steal your idea. Nobody stole it. Do your benefit. Do it. I love the person. I mean, they got great talent, but do your thing. Your idea. Okay, I'm doing this and that. Okay, here's somebody that's doing this. Okay, still do it.
Yeah. You
can still do it, but don't come and be upset and sprinkle your glitter shade. We don't need it. You know what I'm saying? You need, this is a common, this is where we need to come together. But guess what? This is where you're coming together and there's a separation. And it's like who knows who, almost like the meetings. Mm-hmm. And I was proud to be a part of it. And it was a different group of people than the same people. And it's almost like, I heard this before. I can't even think of who it came from. Do you want the problem solved, or do you want to be the person solving the problem? And it sounds like they want to be the person solving the problem because they need what?
Validation.
There you go. And it's like, come on, y'all. Yeah, I said y'all. Why?
I just think like, I mean, the thing is, it's people gathering to help with the tragedy. So that's quick.
Yes.
It's gonna be quick.
Yes, quick.
And it ain't like it's like a benefit concert where you're saying, hey, we got this time, we get to do this thing, we can put out notices to people if they want to come, if they want to be a part of it. It's a rapid moving thing.
Right.
So my thing is that, I mean, I don't, like, for example, I'll tell you like this. I knew stuff was happening, but I didn't even know the date it was happening.
See? Because it was rapid. Because guess what? It wasn't for a big to do. It was for this common goal. It was like to raise money. And this is what we are going to do. Because
even like the place that had the spaghetti dinner, I ended up driving past that place. But I'll be honest with you, when I drove past it, I was like, I didn't know if it was open or not.
Oh, what time did you ride past there?
Had to be like 7:30.
You know what? Because by then the crowd was starting to diminish a little bit. I was there between 5 and 6, and down to the corner was just full of people. The police had to come and do traffic control because during that maybe was the peak period.
Yeah,
there were so many people there, and I did run out of food. As a matter of fact, I heard that they had to start ordering in. That was the demand. So
wow,
it was overwhelmingly successful. So maybe by then,
I just because it was just like, I mean, I didn't really see any lights. I seen tents and stuff like that, and I was just like, I don't know if this is even going on, because I seen cars, but it didn't look like even the building was. Because
it was over at 8, I believe.
Yeah, but they ran out of food way before then.
Oh, okay. Wow, what a blessing! That is so kind. Now, if I decide to have an event, and I know you cook, and so we sit here, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm getting ready to have this event. Hey, I need you to do A, B, C, and D. My homegirl, okay, food for your soul. Shout out to you, Michelle. I know that she cooks, but guess what? We're right here, so this is what we need right now, and this is who I'm talking to. I'm not thinking about a whole boom, 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 and people feeling excluded. Right.
You're going to exclude because it's not that issue.
It's not.
Well, and I think, too, though, people may believe they're more accessible than what they are. For example, like if you're not really in the know when those things kind of happen, you do fall on the side. I'll be honest with you. Because the only reason it triggered my mind that it was happening was because I drove past it. I wasn't driving to it and thought like, oh no, it's over. I drove past it. I was like, oh, it looks like it's over.
Okay. And that's cool too. And it happens. But I know I knew. Look, I knew I had to work, though.
Yeah.
I did have to work. But I was so excited with the outcome. I'm like, 33. They did that quick. Like, within a week? It's like a week. And then the service is going on today. And then even like the gospel concert tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That was a quick one. It was like, boom, this is going to be the date, and New Bethel decided, they volunteered to host it because it's, a larger church. And it was like, okay, boom, that's going to be off the hook. And to have a good time, we need to come together. And I don't think it's going to be sad. Some people did say they didn't want to come because they felt that it was going to be sad. And no, we didn't really do that. We did the moment of silence and then it was a celebration of life. And that's what we have to remember, even though it was tragic. Just a celebration of life. And even being a mom, you think back, carrying that baby, being pregnant, you're like, oh my God, 5 of them, just a thought, you go back. I would not want to be in her shoes. And I feel bad. She's a young girl too. Mm-hmm. And like we talked about last time, that may be her purpose, her ministry, mm-hmm. remember? To speak on it. And so we never know. Now back to your friend, 45.
My friend.
Your friend, because I ain't vote for this clown.
Me neither.
And I'm like, how did that happen? You know what I think?
I think
he was shocked.
I actually was. I was open. I was watching TV and I see like little. Even like I felt just as uncomfortable as little Baron. Baron was out there looking asleep. Like I don't want to be out here. I was like, I don't want you to be out there either, Baron. No.
They're like, no.
Yeah.
Melania probably like, are you serious? She probably like, probably talking to her mother on the phone. Yeah, he ready for me. He's not going to make it, Mom. Like, yeah, and made it. I think he was shocked, though. I think he was just as surprised. Even though they said it was a setup. But, you still can't hold to somebody cheating. You know what I mean? I think he was just as surprised. Like, oh, snap. I was going to say I lost and blame it on Hillary. Because, he's the blamer. Master blamer. Yeah. It's always somebody else's fault. And I said, oh, he probably shocked. But I was shocked. I was like, whatever. My son was like, he won. I was like, you lying. I was like, lies. He was like, no, for real. I turned around. I was like, are you serious? Like, is this for real? Is this what America's coming to? That was different.
Well, we'll see what
So
happens.
who is actually affected at this point by the shutdown?
Okay. The Border Patrol is, TSA is, basically, these are people who, they will not get paid, but they have to work. They'll be furloughed. Mm-hmm. And then there's other departments where they'll not be working. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but those ones that were in security ring to the
FBI.
Yeah, they'll have to, like all of them, they'll have to work.
Yeah, they got to work.
But they won't get paid. And then I heard somebody say, I forgot who it was, they were in an interview, and they said, well, this is part of the job. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not part of the job, because the part of the job is that you do a service for the country, and the country is supposed to reward you for that service. And he's screwing it. And like for it to be the border wall is the issue you holding this up for? That's the issue? And like that's the issue?
That's the issue.
Like if it was a stronger issue that you could say, okay, maybe you got a point there. But for the border wall?
But for him, that is the issue. His campaign was run on the idea that this wall would happen and that the Affordable Care Act would be dissolved, and these things aren't happening as planned. So for him, that is the issue.
Yeah, I mean for him, but I'm thinking like
and his supporters.
But if it's for the greater good of the country, I don't think that you should put a hold on the border wall when we could see when you had the caravan that went through Tijuana, how that was just shut down, and there was no extra wall there. It was just the people doing their job. So I just kind of feel like for him to leverage the stability of American families and those and potentially weaken those departments by not paying, and based off of that, it's not really. I mean, like we said that earlier with the whole thing with the support thing. Is it about you or is it about the problem being solved?
It's about him.
It's about him.
Yeah, and like a border wall is not solving the problem that we do not have a budget in place for the United States. That's not. That's that's so far fetched of an issue. Like it doesn't even matter. When you think about that, the issue is still. He's using that as a point of leverage to get what he wants. But the issue is that the country is still running without a secure budget to be able to say, okay, we had a budget in place for a year. what's this? We got to restart every few months or whatever because people want to wage political war, and that's what and he's using that wall as a point of leverage, And the thing was, he vetoed the plan. It wasn't like it was like, it was no, they can't decide it, so he's going to make. He decided that he wouldn't go along with the plan.
Well, do you think that it's going to last past Sunday? Because they're saying Sunday it should be over. But he's so stubborn.
I don't know. I don't really know. Depending on, if it was, because the calculation is this, just reduce my demand for a wall, and it's done. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that's holding up this plan is that no money is in there for his border wall. That's it. It's not like it's like something inside the plan that he's upset with. It's just like, y'all ain't going to fund my border wall. That's it.
Mad. And he mad.
I'm
shutting down the country.
He's shutting down the country. See, over that.
That's dangerous. So that's like, come on.
It raises the question, just how much say and input do the American people actually have? That something like this can happen in the first place. We talk about getting out to vote, which I am a great big advocate for. Everybody should place their vote. Everybody should register to vote. But when you see things like this happening in our government, it makes you back up and take a look and say, just how much of a voice do people have that these kinds of things are allowed to happen? Yes, there's a process that we follow, but if you can stop people from getting paid for a wall that this one man is pushing so hard, is it that he has that much support, or is it that we really don't have that much of a voice?
And see, that was my concern, even with him being in office. I said, you know what, I hope it doesn't discourage the younger voters.
That's right.
Because you will feel like, okay, well, my vote, it don't even matter. I voted and he won, and he's saying and doing what he wants to do, like it's a dictatorship. So that's how he's running the country, and it's not okay. Go ahead, what you thinking?
Well, what they say, youth is wasted on the fool, on the young or whatever. And I think that part of that about that is just like, even if he did win this election, it doesn't mean that the process, that you can't still contribute to the process.
Right.
Okay.
You may not always be on the winning end of a particular issue or nothing, but where did you stand when that issue was raised? Is the concern here? So because I during the political season, I ran into a lot of voters, basically because I was going door to door, getting people out. But the thing is, you would hear often like, well, I voted last time and he won. I'm like, yeah, but if it was your football team that you were liking and they lost the game before, you damn sure gonna tune in the next Sunday,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So why would you feel so defeated in that moment where you feel like that's the problem? Even when you lose, what you should do if you feel strong about the issue is not only vote the next time, but protest.
Right.
The next time, or rally the next time to get other people to see your view is just as important.
You know what I think? I think that this is more reason to vote.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
More reason to vote.
Absolutely.
Especially when you look across the country and you see all of these votes that are coming down to, well, we got to have a recount. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. It's showing you even more how important your vote is versus people thinking, well, my vote doesn't matter. When things are coming, like these are like governor races, senator races, going down to recounts and revotes and runoffs and all that stuff. You matter.
And even reevaluate the process of how people vote.
Matter?
Yes.
Matter?
MADDER?
Yeah, matter.
I heard
Matter.
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 But matter.
You got me sound like Roger Rabbit.
I'm like,
so hear that, people. Your vote does count.
Yes, so do not, don't be discouraged.
But at the same time, you have to do more in between voting, too. You have to become active. You have to stand up for what you're believing in. Let your voice be heard. Show your support for your local leaders. It's not enough for us to just get people in office. We have to be more proactive about the positions that we take on the issues as well, in between votes.
This cat's whole camp going to jail though. I'm like, what the
Everybody.
whole camp?
If you ain't resigning or getting fired, you going to jail.
Right? It's like
Without
what
the
is
bed.
going on? Like what is up? Hey, speaking of the youth, did you know they did you already know. So they did research. I forget which university it was, but what they did, they did a hypothesis, an educated guess here. For the children, teens, teens, young adults, would you eat rather, wait a minute, it was the phone versus food. So it was like, okay, would you go 3 hours without eating or 2 hours without your phone?
They wouldn't eat.
They would not eat.
3 hours without eating. Well, because think about it like that though. Okay, when you think about you're asking a kid this, they're on a routine schedule anyway to eat.
Every 4 hours.
Yeah.
They're like, I ain't hungry yet. I ain't hungry yet.
What do you mean 3 hours? I'm in math class at that time. I don't have lunch until 12. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, when you think about, like, when you put that kind of parameter with them, it's like, yeah, what I care about that
3
for?
hours, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the first thing I thought about was like, well, they on a routine schedule. We the ones that be like, I think it's time to eat this. I really want that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's open right there. I guess we the ones.
I'll eat a whole lot before the 3 hours start.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like that to me that was a no-brainer. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because
See,
it's like
I didn't even think of it that way, but I was sitting there when you got up. I was like, dang, I hope you bring me one of the sweet tarts.
Oh, okay. I get the sweet tart.
I eat every 2 hours. I'm like, I got to eat something to drink something. I don't know, maybe if it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's the age difference now where I'm like, I need to eat. We didn't have phones, so I could go without the phone. But I didn't think of it that way because, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Some people don't eat, especially students. Thanks. These are the bomb.com.
Yeah, their whole thing is like, I mean, their whole like regimen is controlled. Students, you got breakfast at a certain time.
Now,
you got lunch and then, dinner whenever that happens.
Now, I see some students who eat breakfast. Now, you just got here. eat lunch at 10 o'clock. I was like, what, already? Mm-hmm. Like, that's early.
Well, we'll check this out, though. Okay, like, I don't remember what time I used to eat lunch at in junior high. But junior high was the earliest I had to be out to get to school. Because I think we had to be out at about 6:15 to get to school when school started like 7:15 or something like that. So you figure like this, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
It's all relative to when you got to get up. Then if you walk to school, calories,
Junior high, you did get out at 2:30.
Yeah. So you had to
so
be
maybe
there
that's it. Okay.
I mean, so it's all relative,
Okay.
which I think is ridiculous. And I even mentioned that in my capacity. I was like, why in the world we had the kids that's going through the most physical change? You have to get up the earliest to be at school. I was like,
I believe you probably said that when you was in school too.
Yeah, I was like, if anything, let those kids go to school at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? I'm like, did you ever see a bunch of 7th and 8th graders? Man, they look like dangly monsters, man. They all like I'm like stretching out and growing, trying
puberty
to fit into their body.
Man, you do have all that.
Let them get some rest. Jesus.
They were trying to make a move for that at some point, letting the high school kids start late, but I guess nothing came of it.
I'm glad because that's ridiculous. Starting school at 9 o'clock. That to me, that's ridiculous. How many people
start school at 9?
How many people actually have a 9 to 5?
How many people?
Yes,
quite a bit of people.
Not 9 to 5. You got
9 to 5? You figure like this.
I mean, it's like taffy. I'm sorry.
In certain industries, it's only open 9 to 5.
Sure.
Like all the banks. There's always a first shift.
The Dollar General.
There's
10 to 6, 10 to 7.
There's always, but there's always a first shift. There's a lot of people that have.
Yeah, you had your first shift, but it's not 9 o'clock. It's like 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
That's what I'm saying. So if your body, we all know, if you work at 6 o'clock in the morning, your body automatically wakes up without an alarm clock.
Yeah,
probably like 4:35.
Yeah.
So if these kids have to be at school at 9, what are you doing when they get out in the workforce?
What do you mean? You gotta go to high school.
They all gonna be afternoon.
You gotta go to high school though. No, this is the thing I want to say about this.
This is
okay,
this is what I'm saying.
Get your funky off.
Yeah, let me get it on now.
Your name on the billboard. Go ahead.
If they go to work if they go to school at 9:00, high schoolers, boom. Guess what? Then when they get out to the real world, they're going to have issues. They're going to be late every day. Or they all going to be working afternoon shift. Are we graduating afternoon shifts, second shifts? Because don't nobody ever want to work second shift.
Exactly. And if you know, there's always shift differentials for the afternoon.
So
we might be making them get more money. But the point I want to say is that if you were going to go to traditional track, and let's say when I say traditional, what they would think is like, you go through your 12 years and then you go to college, right? Mm-hmm. When you go to college, there are 8 o'clock classes and there are 9 o'clock classes. There are 10 o'clock classes. Mm-hmm. There are 12, 1, 3, 5, 6 o'clock classes. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that what are we trying to do here? Like part of it is get people ready for work experience, but the other one is like, what is the best time for them to be educated? Like for me, I said, I think I'm going to take that 8 o'clock math class because I can do better at 8 o'clock dealing with math than I can if it's 2.
Of course, because your brain is tired.
But the thing was, I had the option to be able to say when that was going to happen. When you in high school, it's like I go to this place, they tell me what class I got to do. Oh, randomly, you got to be in class at this time. They don't take into consideration those kind of things. It doesn't work around what works best for you. It works best for the system.
Well, welcome to adulthood. Then you make choices.
But college is adulthood, and you have to make those choices.
Let me tell you what's so interesting.
I'm saying, we know that, kids are not sleeping as many hours as they should be, and they're not, getting all the meals they should be, and all those kind of things. Then why isn't the system working to offset those particular things?
Well, listen. Here's my thing with college.
Right.
I'm back to the student. I go to class, and when I'm in college, when am I eating lunch? You don't even eat lunch the same. You don't. In college, you don't. You be like I was talking about the 10-15. Boom, okay. I'm like, that's probably why they did that. Phone versus food. Because in college, I didn't eat right.
Well, I went to a private school.
I was right down the street. Why is you?
Yeah. So when you go to private school, or at least
I walked through where the food was at, but I wasn't trying to eat.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I went through Kill Collie and played some cards a little bit to my next class, but I wasn't eating like at my normal time like I was in high school.
Well, see, when I was in college, I went to a private school, and at that time they had yes, I had my pinky up. My pinky up. I made sure my doctors were pressed. But the point was that you had breakfast at this time, you had lunch at this time, you had dinner at this time. And you had a meal, you had a
and if you missed it, you missed it.
If you missed it, you missed it.
But
if you missed it, you missed it. That's the important part. Like if you missed it, you out. What you gonna do if you ain't got no loot?
Well, you ain't gonna do nothing. You gonna go.
You gonna get up early the next morning and take your.
Oh yeah, right. You gonna make sure you get there on time.
But that was the thing that was hard for me to wrap my head around because my kid went to a state school and they had the meal plan and all this other stuff, and I was like, man, this is crazy. Why are you spending this much money for this and blah blah blah? And we didn't get to save any meals into the next thing. If you missed it, you missed it. It was gone, but you paid for it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I don't know.
But you're right. You didn't. The rollover. I remember one of my homegirls, I used to go down to Kent and visit her, and she was so hospitable. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, she was so hospitable that what she did, you had like a certain amount on your card.
Coupon books when I was there, Kent.
She like, what you want, man? Whatever you want. Listen, I went down there and visited her. I ain't lied. And then it re-up like
smashing. Right.
I'm like, I'm gonna get this. Mm-hmm. She was hungry the rest of the month. I went down there on the second or third. Mm-hmm. Man, we kicked it that whole weekend, and then she had nothing to eat for the rest.
Yeah. We had 4 books of $76 when I went to Kent, and you would get them for the semester. Everybody ate well, and the football players got more than that. So you could eat whenever, wherever with those food coupons down. As a matter of fact, people would sell them and make money off of those food coupon books.
Like food stamps?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's just how they were.
Now they got a little bit more electronic. They ain't letting you get over them. But my son, he was like, yeah, I had money left over, so I bought a whole bunch of Gatorade. I'm like, what? Like, what happened to reimbursement center? But I mean, like, I'm like, why don't they just give you your blue bag? Oh no, we can't do that.
Off the chain.
Yeah, I mean, he likes the school. When I went, I was like, this is a vending machine of colleges. Like, everything was like
bad for you.
Pay.
But the stuff is bad to me. Like, there's no real food. It's all like your tacos, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they had like that kind of like a food court thing, but it was kind of weird because it wasn't like when I was in school, it was like, oh, you down here, eat as much as you want. You know, it wasn't like, oh, you got to keep on getting redeemed for everything you get.
Oh, you could just, it was like a smart, like a buffet.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, we used to, since I didn't say to school, I guess I got away with this. We played sports, we get ice bags and stuff like that. And be like, oh, it's Wing Ding Day? Okay.
What's an ice bag?
Like, you know, you get a bag in the sports medicine area. That when you would put ice in, to ice a ligament, or a leg or something. Okay. Instead of putting ice in it, you just get an empty bag and you took it down to the cafeteria. And you put like, oh, I'm shopping. Here's my ham. Here's my bread.
Just dump it, put it in the bag. Just throw it in the bag.
I mean, you didn't do it. You know, you was kind of slick with it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Like the old country buffet in your purse.
These are the ways to survive. But that's when it was true 15-cent wing nights. 10-cent wings and stuff. I remember I used to order like 40 wings and we leave only spending like $5.
So you got ice packs full of wings.
No, this was just after just in other areas and stuff. You know, but we have all kinds of stuff. You got company coming up? I got some visitors coming, y'all.
Okay.
We need some hams. How much is this? We need some.
You wanted to be the great host.
You know what I mean? Spread it on out. I remember my room was probably like 10 by 10. At a party, had to be like 30 people in that bug. It's crazy.
I still think it's a bad idea to have these kids waking up, going to school at 9 o'clock. And what about the working parent? People have to be at work at like 7, 8.
Latchkey kid.
Yeah,
kid. And then, I mean, that's what our culture is.
And then what's the issue? The issue will be like, they're at home alone too much.
But I'm talking about the junior high schoolers. You know, that was my comment in the beginning. I mean, like, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I had a whole lot more responsibility. I'm like, well, when did I get a house key? Like, what? 7, maybe?
Yes.
You know, and it wasn't like nobody was home. It was like, here's the key. You know? I mean, it wasn't like I'm going to an empty home.
I don't think I would give a 7-year-old a key at this. Why is that? What? I wouldn't give a 7-year-old a key right now.
I don't know. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, I really think I had a key at like 7 years old.
I was in the 2nd grade and I had a string around my neck tucked in my clothes, and my mom said, "Don't tell anybody this key is around your neck."
So you like 7 or 8?
I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Would you give your 7-year-old a key right now?
I would tell you like this. In the situation I was in, I didn't need to really have a key.
No, but I mean, like, at this day and age, 2018.
My 7-year-old?
If you had a 7-year-old child.
Above average. So
I would have given my 7-year-old. She was a very responsible 7-year-old.
Yeah. I would just think, like, I think so. But I think the issue is, like, not that you have a key because you're not there, but you have a key. You have a resource.
My 16-year-old had a key. The school had about 9 of my keys in the lost and found. I'm like, I didn't change locks so many times. I'm like, come on. Mm-hmm. So, like, not 16. Something wrong. You just focused on playing whatever. Somebody could steal your key. Mine wasn't really. Now, the girl was all right. Yeah. But I don't know if at 7 years old, this day and age, kids are setting up their parents any old way to get robbed. So, I don't know.
Yeah. But I think, like when I think about when I was growing up versus my child, it was like, what was my thing? Dropping them off, picking them up, dropping them off, picking them up. You know what I mean? Like, he was like always with me. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't like that like gap of space where it was like, oh, okay. Like even like it was like You had a kid if he was like, hey, go play. What are you about to go do? You out in the world, be like before it gets dark, you know what I mean? But now it ain't like that. Like, people GPS their kids and everything. Like, where you at?
Do you think that that's a good idea?
Huh?
GPS and your kid. Do you think it's a good idea?
I mean, I don't know. No. I don't like the idea of like that for that world order kind of thing. We know where you're at, which they know where we're at because we got phones and people like, hey, I'm here eating delicious tacos.
And they posted it, check it in.
I watch too much ID, so I'm saying, yeah, give them the GPS, because I watch all those TV shows where the folks come up disappearing and everything. Right. So if I was to do that, it would be for that reason, not because I didn't trust where she was. It would strictly be for safety reasons, because I had to think, where was my kid at 7? I had her going to a before and after school program, so she didn't need a key. I dropped her off, went to work, and then after I got off work, I picked her up from the after school program. But at that time, if she would have needed to have a key, then she would have gotten one. That's how she got her first cell phone, because I got a job where I had to be at work before she had to be in school, and she had outgrown that program. So what I would do is I told my boss, I got to talk to my kid on the phone for about 10 minutes until the bus picks her up. And that was how she got her first cell phone, and she was probably like 12 or 13 then. So it would be safety reasons that I would do stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't like the low jack, man. I'm against it.
You're against it?
Like, even the fact, I mean, granted, I had a situation where, let's put it like, not even me, but when you get, there's certain things where it works out well. Oh, you get into an accident. Oh, your car tells everybody where you're at. Everybody comes, right? But there's also, the thing of, I just don't like the idea
of somebody always knowing where you are and tracking you.
Like, on my phone, I forgot where I went. It was, I don't know, it was Google, or somebody said, hey, you're at such and such this
now that's
I don't like that.
I don't like that
either. Somewhere and they're telling you, well, the store is right there and you can go shopping over there. And I'm like,
and they can't find these missing persons.
That's invasion of my privacy.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't like that. It's almost creepy. Yeah, I don't like that.
So I think it's different, like, for a child. I think it's for safety reasons. That would be mine. The way that the world is, I'm like, okay, let me make sure you're okay if I don't hear from you. Now, what I will do, I'll go on the social media networks, and when I click on it, I'll see, okay, they're safe, because I'll see that they posted something now. But mine would strictly be for safety reasons. Now, I don't like what everybody else inside the phone, like you said, like we could talk, and then all of a sudden, like I'll be talking about a shirt or something, and all of a sudden different shirts will show up. I'm like, I got a problem with that. And then you talk about you can't find a missing person. Oh, you know where they at. Yeah. Like that's for the birds.
Or even that thing on like iPhones where you can give somebody your like location or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I
ain't rich enough for an iPhone.
In the beginning, when they talked about I remember when they first had it was an AT&T commercial. Like it was AT&T, it was something like. And they had this commercial about the future, and they had like a little television set and people talking to each other over, you can see each other, which we do is FaceTime now today. But, and this was like in the 80s with the idea. And I was just like, that would be really cool. And then it happened. I'm like, this is not cool at all.
It's not cool?
Not cool at all.
All right, let's talk about what's going on in New Jersey. There's a referee who ordered a black high school wrestler to either cut his hair or forfeit the match. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? Let me say what the media has. There was a white referee. Okay, who ordered a black high school student to either cut his hair or forfeit the match. Now, New Jersey, they're investigating it right now, the athletic officials. But how can you tell me to cut my hair?
This is what I would say. How many matches have happened before then when this kid was allowed to wrestle with it not being an issue?
Let me say this too. Dreadlocks. He has dreadlocks. So it's not just like hair just out like Palomalo. It's dreadlocks. But even then, even with Palomalo, it's like you have your hair for a reason.
Yeah. I just kind of feel like it couldn't have been the first match of the year. At least, let me think about this. December. No, it couldn't have been the first match of the year. My son used to wrestle. I feel like this is that like if there's no rule that's given out to say what people's hair should be, then a referee should not be able to enforce a rule based off of his discretion. The other thing is that when you in the wrestling community, there's girls that wrestle. They've never been told to cut their hair.
Oh, girls wrestle.
Yeah,
Oh,
girls
they,
wrestle
yes, they
guys.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And it is like they wrestle guys. They don't. It's not like a girls division.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to wrestle? You on the wrestling team. But it kind of works out though, because like when you think about those lower weights, you have like sometimes you have a kid who has to cut weight to be like 105, 6 pounds, but a girl may be naturally that and bigger. You know what I mean?
And then she beats him, and then he got to go to school, and they be like, "You got beat down.
Don't lose.
Don't lose. That's it."
Don't lose.
Now, how does that work when it's you're being too aggressive with her? Does that ever come into?
She on the mat.
Show the math so it's
She on the
fair
mat.
game?
As long as you ain't doing nothing illegal, free game, yo. Like you may have to get over some things because you might be in, as a guy wrestling a girl, you may have to like kind of realize that I still got to try to put her in the same holds and stuff, and still got
Without touching her boobs.
Well, I mean that's just a boob, a private parts is gonna get touched. Because you fighting,
They get touched when the boys fight the boys.
you can't really avoid that. You know what I mean? You got to go in there knowing that you ain't going in there to do anything. Your intent is to pin them, not to penetrate
sexual.
them. You know what I mean? Not penetrate. It's to pin. You know what I mean? And I felt real uncomfortable saying that. I'm like, I'll do it anyway. So, but that's the thing is like.
It's sportsmanship, not sexual.
Yeah. And when you see it, like when you go, like you should, I would encourage everybody to like to go one of those ones where it's like a huge like event where it's like 10, 20 mats down and people are wrestling.
Like
it's
at Cavelli. I've gone to Cavelli where they've done that.
Did that?
Yeah.
Now, you know what? Now, how do you feel about the females infiltrating male sports instead of doing? Go ahead.
Let me put it out there like this though. When you see wrestling though, wrestling is one of those sports like it's kids out there with no legs. Like I mean seriously. I'm not like I don't know what that one when you were born and you don't like I don't know what it's called, but like there's some kids that have that out there wrestling. Like it's like that.
What, paraplegic?
No, they don't have.
They
don't have
have
legs.
limbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things where it's like you can come like it's kid like I've seen kids with Down syndrome wrestling like it's one of those things where like but the point I'm saying is like the spectrum of it.
Okay, so there's no discrimination.
Like those kids are on the mat. Like in order for you to represent your weight class, like everybody don't wrestle. You only wrestle when you the best at your weight class, and you prove that through a match, through a
Also,
match.
it's not like basketball or nothing.
It's not like basketball or football where it can be subjective. It's like I want your spot. We the same weight. We wrestle all for it.
And it's a process of elimination too, right?
Oh,
so all of that is out the window.
Okay, so that means you the bomb.com if you're on the team.
So what I'm saying is like when you get these kids who have like mental disabilities or physical disabilities or they might like I don't know where they might be women against men. It isn't because we just throwing these kids out there and they get an opportunity to do it. They prove themselves in their with their cohorts within their team to be in that spot.
So skill overrides gender.
Gender, disability.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're wrestling somebody with no legs, you ain't gonna feel bad.
You better not. You gonna lose.
Okay, so
you lose. Hey, it's a documentary. It's a documentary on Netflix about a kid that had no legs wrestling. Like I seen a kid like that, and he was a monster.
I bet
he didn't lose. I mean, like he was amazing.
Okay.
Hell, I wasn't gonna wrestle him.
You cool?
Like where my bat at? The kid was amazing. I think it was from like Maslin or something like that.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Ohio. Look, I'm like shout out to Ohio. Now my question was, how do you feel about females infiltrating male sports? Now let me be clear. Like they have the WNBA for the women. Mm-hmm. You got the NBA. Now you have females, like little girls who, because we talked about this, I think, a year ago, the one girl who wanted to be on the football team, and then their opposing team had an issue because the guys didn't want to tackle her.
I remember that.
And it's like, how does that work?
I know like this. When I was in college, we needed a kicker. And there was a girl who played soccer who wanted to be on the team. I was like, let her.
For a kicker?
I mean, but it didn't matter. She didn't have to hit somebody if something went wrong. The point I'm saying is like for what we needed somebody to do, she was the best person we could have, and she was willing
for that job.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, get her out there. And at the school, I think they kind of discriminated against her because she never actually did it. You know what I mean? But my thoughts was like, if we need somebody, I don't care. Do you let her kick?
Okay. Now that's a little bit different. Let her kick. But let's just think. So football, you playing, you're like, okay, that's the girl. Boom. And if you were groomed not to hurt girls, and then you got to play, you wouldn't feel bad about hitting her and tackling her.
But I think the thing is like when you play those sports, like you don't. I mean, you may obviously think like, okay, the other person on the other side is going to be a guy, but ultimately it's offense and it's defense. If she trying to run through the hole and I'm the middle linebacker, I'm tackling her. With all my might. Just like I would tackle anybody with all my might.
And you wouldn't feel bad about if she can't have kids later on.
That ain't my problem.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That ain't my problem. As long as I do a clean, legal hit to stop the person who has the ball in their hand from advancing, I'm okay.
And I think it has to be understood for the female player that when you get on that field, you are just like anybody else.
Okay.
I mean, it's like this.
You hit her, you said with all your might, they gonna be like, you scumbag.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. But if it say no yards gained on the play, that's all good. That's what my people want to hear. They did not invest the ball. It is now the next down, and they are back where they were. But if it, so I just think like, I mean, the thing is sportsmanship. If you plow into somebody and somebody get hurt and they don't get up, what do the other opposite team do? They get on the knee.
And there are some boys who are just as fragile as girls.
Well, it's the human body, and the human body can only take so much pressure, male or female.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, I don't know if there's any
female football beasts.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any. I think
now they got it.
Yeah, when we start talking about bone density, that's usually in later age, not in youth. So
basically,
the body is strong. The body. What you gonna do with it?
And concussions are happening with men in the NFL. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they don't know until after you die and they do the autopsy. How about that one?
Well,
just to let you know. Do you have a concussion? Well, we really can't tell if you have a concussion until you actually die and we do an autopsy. Yeah. But we're gonna send you home with these discharge instructions.
The thing that's so crazy about it is the stuff people ask you. Like, have you been knocked out when you've been unconscious? Because most people have not been knocked out. So it's all these people who asking you. I'm like, well, how would you know if you were or not? Because to you, it's only moments. But for everybody to see it, it could be 5 minutes. So, but like if you haven't experienced it, how would you know?
Good question, because they asked that when we got in an accident. They said, did you lose consciousness? I was like, I don't know. I had to look at my mother. She was like, yes. Okay. She knew because she was the witness.
Yeah, because she.
But I don't know.
Because she didn't lose consciousness.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So It's like, when I hear that question, I'm like, that is one of the most ridiculous questions ever, because you got to go through so much blunt force trauma to actually be in this situation, lose consciousness, that not everyone experienced that. So how can you judge if I was or wasn't? Like, how can you prove that to me if you can't do an MRI and see I actually have bruises on my brain?
Okay. So, now I want to get back to this story real quick. Do you think that, his name is Andrew Johnson, do you think that he cut his dreads off or forfeited the game?
I seen the picture.
So you already know the answer.
It. Yeah.
And they said that he looked distraught when he was cutting it.
Yeah, it probably was. I was distraught. You
were distraught?
Yeah. Did he win, though? I didn't see that. Did he win the match?
Now, I don't know that part because they didn't even give us that, but that is a good question. They, the people are furious of New Jersey. They said that the ultimatum they felt was racially motivated, especially since the ref, Alan Maloney, has previously been disciplined for making several racist comments.
Oh, then there you go.
But he cut his hair, so hey, you said it. It's a competitive
Yeah, but he did it.
Sports.
He did it in the moment.
Where were his parents? Was there anyone there to advocate for him?
You see, and that advocate, that's such a great word. Such a great medical word, too. But we have the man who advocates for everybody. Let's see here. Then guess what? He did win.
Okay.
He did win. A referee wouldn't allow Andrew Johnson, see, I'll be trying to get this stuff up for y'all, to wrestle with the cover on over his dreadlocks. It was either an impromptu. We already know that stuff. Johnson chose the haircut, then won by sudden victory in overtime to help spark, what is it, Buena? Let me ding this bell for myself. Buena to win, the high school. So, yes, he won overall. So, there you have it. Black Christmas trees. You down?
Color black.
I've seen some for the team that you like a long time ago. The
A
tree
lot-
was nice,
Still,
although I didn't like the
yeah.
team, but the tree was nice.
Yeah, I seen a Steelers tree like that. Mhm.
Black Christmas tree, that's what's going on. You down for a black Christmas tree?
I'd say no Christmas tree.
You say no Christmas tree?
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't have a tree up, but I wouldn't be opposed to a black one if that's what somebody wanted.
Okay. They look sharp if it's like black and silver, but I'm nervous. After I saw them black squirrels, I'd be like, And I seen, what was that, A Christmas Story? No, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where that squirrel was in a tree. Yeah, even though we know that it's a fake tree. Man, that's what the craze is. They got over, over 9,000 hashtags with the Black Christmas tree. So they say that is the tree that everyone is requesting nowadays. Very, very interesting.
Do you remember the foil tree where you would turn the light on and shine it on the tree? The tree would turn colors because you had this little light shining on the tree. So if you can have a silver tree with light shining on it, I guess you could have a black tree.
I mean, you can. I mean, do
that's
what you want,
wanna
I guess.
do, yeah.
You know, I hope you're praying to Jesus just for Christmas, too. Not just about a tree only. So I just slip in my Jesus comments.
Yes. Let's bring them on in. Bring them on in the room. Come on in here.
You know, it ain't all about the tree. It is about Jesus Christ.
It is. It truly is.
Big
And it's so
Jesus.
much bad happening in this world that I'm like, ooh, I need to find something good. Rugo, what's happening in the movie world?
Wow, this is the time, y'all. This is the time right for y'all entertainment season, for the entertainment season of the season of... I got caught up in my season, so I give.
All right, let's try that. Let's try that one more time. Okay, boom. Let's see. Hold on. All right, Rugo, what's happening in the movie world?
Oh, 'tis the season for your entertainment value at the movies. That sounded a whole lot better than before. Okay, this is what's going on. This is going to be an action-packed weekend with all the movies that are out. Debuting yesterday was Aquaman and Bumblebee. Aquaman is the story of Aquaman from DC Comics, who is also part of the Justice League that was in the movies of the Justice League that just recently came out. And then there's Bumblebee, which is like, I think, the 6th installment of not Star Wars, Transformer movies. This is supposed to be a reboot of some sorts. And then there is also Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse, which stars Miles Morales as the web-crawling, slinging bad guy capturing Spider-Man, who meets up with all the other Spider-Mans from different diverse universes. And so that is out there.
Really? They got different Spider-Mans from different universes?
Oh yeah, comic books got different universes, all that kind of stuff, yeah.
I didn't know that. What about the Mary Poppins return?
Mary Poppins Returns. That is also out there for the families, along with a lot of other family movies that are showing, like The Grinch is out there as well. And there is a movie that is called Vice that talks about the life of Dick Cheney with Christian Bale playing the lead. I think that's going to be an interesting piece, probably released in time for the Oscars to make a selection on if they want to choose him as Best Actor. And there's I would be remiss if I didn't say this. If you happen to be in one of these locations where it's playing, If Beale Street Could Talk. This is a work based off of James Baldwin's work for a movie about a man who was falsely accused of rape and is going through that particular issue. James Baldwin being the civil rights activist, James Baldwin.
What about what was that? Creed 2. Did you ever go see it yet?
I did go see Creed 2. We talked about that.
Okay. And it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. It's good. It's good. I thought the story was good. I thought the story was really good because it talked about what was happening from the Dragos perspective. And I thought that was an interesting story in itself.
Okay.
Yeah, good movie.
Is it? Okay. What would you rate it?
I would give it a B. B plus.
B? Oh, he hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he's hard with it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it was
B
good.
plus. Okay, so should I spend my money?
Yeah.
What's a good Christmas movie? Would that be a good Christmas?
The
I need
best
something
Christmas
light.
movie
Yeah, I
is
need
Die
like
Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah. It's a Christmas classic. Bruce Willis.
I'm talking about at the theater now.
Oh. At the theater now.
What is it? Mortal Engines.
I ain't got.
You're not interested in that. What about second act? Oh, that's romantic. You ain't trying to do
Second,
that.
no, I ain't got that to do.
You're like Aquaman. He back with.
Aquaman. That's where I'm at.
That's
Spend your
it?
Christmas under the sea.
Okay.
With Aquaman.
Who's playing Aquaman?
Jason Momoa.
What did he play in before?
He's in he was in Game of Thrones. He's in a show that's on Netflix now called The Frontier. He was in a remake of the Conan, which was absolutely horrible. I seen that with my own eyeballs, and I'm still mad at my son about making me go see that because we had this thing like you pick a movie one time and I'll pick the movie next, and then we criticize each other based off the movie that we picked to go see. So far, he is losing in this category, and that is the reason why because he picked to go see this terrible Conan movie.
So you say, did you see Aquaman?
I didn't see it yet. I haven't been in movies in a couple weeks now.
I saw the preview. And it caught my attention where he was a little boy looking.
Yeah.
They were at the aquarium on a field trip or something like that. It caught my attention. I might have to go and see that. We are going to talk about tips on, is this the person for you to marry? I got an inbox, so I'll catch you guys up. I got an inbox, and this girl wanted to know if this is she with the person that she should marry and what signs she should look for. Now, I thought it was I don't know the person, I don't know the relationship or anything. But she did inbox me and she wanted to know, how do I know that this is the person that I should marry? So, I'm going to ask you. How do you know that that's the person you should marry? What qualities or characteristics would they have to have in order for you to know that this is the person you should marry?
What did your mama say?
Okay, so that is one of them. Go ahead. What's your thought?
Does that person meet your priority standards?
Okay. Well, let's see what the people said. The peepers. Man, I miss that cat. He used to come on the show all the time. Joe T. He used to come down there on 1500 when I was down there at WAC. He was like, hey, now the people see. I said, go ahead. He ran for every office. 14 didn't even win.
For him.
Did you vote for him?
Uh-huh.
You voted for Joe T?
Yeah.
Go ahead. They be fixing it. And when they get ready to do the, what?
Me and 152 other people.
And then, well, look, bless your heart. Bless your heart. See, that's why you said that. Just because you might not win all the time, but still vote. Yeah. All right. Anyway, trust them to run your errands. That's what people said. Trust them to run your errands. That means,
I didn't think about that one.
If they're receptive to feedback, if they share the same values, they don't try and change you. Now, like we talked about before, you got those people that sit there and be like, oh, yeah, you're wonderful. Boom. As soon as you say I do, and you be like, who are you? And why are you trying to tell me to do what I wasn't doing prior? Now, you don't like the roommate, but you're willing to share the space. That was another one. Meaning, I don't want a roommate, but I'm willing to share the space with you. So, yes, that might be the person that you like if you don't like a roommate. You're his priority, which you nailed. And if your friends and family approve, kind of like what you were saying. I disagree with that one.
Yeah.
Totally. Because even when we talked last time, after you sit there and you're like your friends and family and you look at your family and you're like, I would never date that person that they with, so why would I take their advice? That's just me. They admit their mistakes, genuinely kind. A genuinely kind person. Now that's deep right there. Genuinely kind. So my thoughts are, you had to know each other for a long period of time. You know that this is actually a kind person. And you feel like you've known them forever. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you knew the person forever?
Yeah, I didn't marry that person.
I ain't asked you that.
Yes, I have been there.
You have been there?
That person I did not marry.
You did not? Now, why not?
I don't know.
Are you still
I
friends?
refuse to comment.
Okay, that's probably a good idea.
I'm going to save myself all kinds of arguments.
Yes, that's probably a good idea with that ring on that finger. Mm-hmm. Probably a good idea. Also, let's see here. What other one was on there? Making plans for future events. If they make plans for future events. You understand that one? Mm-hmm. Because if they ain't making plans, they don't have you in mind. Now, this could be, and I actually shared with her, I said, well, here's the thing. How do you know if that's the one for you? But what if you're not the one for him? Mm. It's like, okay, you're doing all this, and you're like, this is it, and blah, 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 blah. And then he don't even ask you to marry him. But the way things are going now, women are asking men to marry them. Just like, wasn't it Chrissy and Jim Jones? She asked him to marry him. They still ain't married. I don't think.
Who is she? I don't know.
Love and Hip Hop New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something you would probably... Some ratchet TV.
I'm like, who are these regular people she's talking about? Chrissy and Jim Jones.
They do sound like regular people.
Yeah, these regular people.
They definitely do. Now, here's my thing. I said, if you're willing to go to the Justice of the Peace, if you are like, boom, let's go to the Justice of the Peace. Boom, let's just go and do this. Then, okay, there might be some true love.
Best
there
marriage ever.
Versus a wedding.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to actually differentiate with. Yeah. Are you focused on the wedding or are you focused on the marriage?
I know someone who called their wedding off for that reason.
I do too.
One of them was so into the wedding, the other party said, we have to live together after this day is over. And they called that wedding off. They called the marriage off. They called everything off.
So it's probably the guy that called it off, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's a good thing. I know a situation where the mother took over the whole wedding.
Yep, me too.
And that's when you be like, and I felt bad for the bride because the bride, she didn't have no say, and the mother was so into the wedding that it was like,
Because I had a conversation with some of my younger cousins.
She drove me crazy because she wanted me to coordinate it.
Uh-huh.
She drove me. The wedding was like the following year. You're not going to call me every day about a wedding that's next year in July.
It's a year to go. Yeah, I had a conversation with my younger cousins, and I asked them, I said, well, what stopped you from getting married earlier? And they were like, the wedding. Mm-hmm. We're getting that done. And so I took that in consideration when I got married. I think I said this before. And it was like 4 days, the planning. It was Wednesday to a Sunday.
Wednesday to a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So so you really love the individual.
Hold on now.
He's crazy.
We ain't saying all that now. You asked me one question. That's about the preparation of the wedding.
No.
Love had nothing to do with that question. Nothing to do with it.
Oh my
God.
God.
Don't be to that question. Dog it.
Oh God.
We really love that person. No, I'm talking about the time that it took to get to the wedding. Nothing about love.
Yes, so.
Oh my goodness. Go and answer those personal questions.
I don't know. I went too far.
You love somebody you married? I don't know. Take it or leave it.
That is so funny. I think that I'm glad that you brought up the issue as far as like the guy calling it off because he saw already, and you are absolutely right. Mm-hmm. You do have to live with that person after the wedding. Like, okay, we got the frill, we did all of that, and now what?
Mm-hmm. And yes, he called it off.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that particular individual, as far as the one that I was speaking of, they end up getting married, but they didn't. They got married. They excluded the mother. And it was just like, okay, here's this wedding, but the wedding was actually for the mother, if you ask me.
Yeah, bad idea. They shouldn't exclude the mother.
They shouldn't? Mm-mm. And listen, and this person, I ended up meeting the fiance later, And then when the fiance ended up telling me, I was like, oh, you was the groom. Well, look at there. We had no idea.
Was it his mama?
No, it was her mom. Her mom was, listen, she was overbearing to me, so I can only imagine how it was with him. Like, stop calling me every day about this. Next year, I'll get with you. I think it was like mid-summer wedding. Mm-hmm. Why are you calling me every day? I got you. I was like, I'll talk to you next year. But, yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know if you should, because when you say exclude, it makes it sound like she wasn't invited.
Who?
The mother.
She shouldn't have been. Her ideas, okay. Her
ideas was invited.
But she was there.
She was there, but her ideas.
All right.
And I think probably, and I'm going to be flat out honest, that particular bride was in love with the one that she wanted. She still is the one she wanted to marry. Mm-hmm. But she married somebody else, you move on. But she was actually in love with the person that couldn't do the other stuff. And I felt bad for her. And I was like, well, if you move on and you be like, okay, I'm marrying this person. But that other person had what I guess she needed.
I guess.
But see, that would have been the person to marry to me, because I would feel like, okay, boom, my mother is no longer able to run my life because he's not going to allow it. And then you don't have to hurt your mother's feelings because you can just blame it on your husband.
No.
You can't do that?
You can't do that. You're grown up. You got to come to compromise. These are the things, Mother. Mother, please understand that this is how we're going to do this. You got to do it like that. You can't be like, blame this person, because then she's forever having an issue with him, and then you got to see each other Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, blah, blah, whatever else. No, just say, hey, line in the sand, this is what we want. This is how we're going to go about it. You on board?
Now, I have a question, and this is for Kim, the go-to girl. Would you marry someone who has other people living in their house? Meaning, the whole family, every time they need a place to stay, they always go.
Oh, no. No. But if I see that there is a need that is temporary, I'm the type of person, before you come here, let's talk about the ground rules, the standards, and how long you are expected to be here. And I say that because of this reason. When I was living in my apartment and I decided that I wanted to buy my own house, I needed to save money for my down payment. So I went to my grandmother and I said, Grandma, I need to stay here with you so that I can save money for a down payment. My grandmother broke those rules down. How long do you plan to stay? And this is how our things are going to be. Not because she didn't want me in her house, but she needed for me to understand that once I get here, there are specific things that I need to do to not stay here, because that's what I came here to do.
Okay.
So that was her way of keeping me focused. So yes, you can stay here while you are in a position, but no, we don't have the revolving door syndrome. That would shut me down. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, so if it was a guy that you sit there, you'd be like, oh, I really love this guy, and then the family keep coming there.
No, because at some point, the man and the partners in the marriage are the trunk of the tree. Everything else branches from that. So if that trunk isn't strong, the rest of the tree is not going to survive. So no, we're not doing all of that. This is how we're going to build our relationship. No, we're never going to just dog our family, or especially our immediate family, but we are not the safe place. This is not the refugee camp. No.
Okay.
No.
What's your thoughts?
How much they got on it?
What you mean?
How much they got on it?
They ain't paying nothing.
They got nothing on it?
They just there. They
No,
come.
they gotta have something on it.
No.
What skill they bring? They cut grass?
You're like,
But he's right.
They vacuum the floor? Like, I think the idea of communal living is okay. But even though I am a space person, and it's tough for me to even like share the space that I have, the little bit of space that I have with a wife. I'm like, oh Lord, it's tough. It really is. It's tough.
I agree.
I mean, it's tough.
My home is my refuge. When I come home, I don't want to have to think about, I can't wear this around my house because everybody else is living here. I want to know that what I put in the refrigerator is going to be there when I go back to get it. I had to learn to share my space.
Look at it like what? That's the truth, though.
I had to learn to share my
Some
space
people
when I
think
became a mom. When I became a mom, I had to learn how to share my space with my child. I had to tell myself, this is her house too. I'm just keeping it real. So to have everybody in the neighborhood say, okay, you know, Kim has the space, let's go. No.
Yeah.
No.
You were parent later on though. Like
I was 29 when I had my daughter.
I was in a different space.
Yeah, I
was kind of like,
I was 29.
Like it was like, I was eating probably the same thing. We like this. we like pebbles.
Right.
Right. We gonna eat this. You know what I mean? Like we were
like Cheetos.
Yeah,
we like that same
we had the
thing.
same palate. You know, and it was like, we gonna have plenty of that. You know. But that was one thing. Like it wasn't like the kid in space is not. It wasn't like it was. It's really like for me the partner, the life partner, the wife or whatever, the spouse, whatever you want to call people. That's the issue I have with space.
Okay, let me break this down. So the guy is single. He's single but dating somebody. Okay, so let's be. Yeah, he's single and he's look at him. He said keep it. He's single, but he's dating someone. His house was empty. And then, now his family is coming and they need a place to stay and they keep going over there to stay with that single guy who's dating somebody, okay? So the house is full of 3 people staying there now.
Is this permanent?
This is where I'm going with that.
Indefinite.
It's indefinite because it happens constantly. So it'll come and it'll go. Come and it'll go. Now, that's why I asked that question. So if he proposes to the girl, should she marry him? Because that stuff happens constantly.
That's on her. Here's what people need to realize. We get so stuck on potential that we overlook the actual.
Okay.
As it stands right now, this man, whether he wants to or not, is going to open his home to these relatives. That's going to happen. Yeah. So if you think that you're going to marry him and he's just going to shut that down, you're setting yourself up. Now he may not, but you cannot say you did not know or did not expect because you already see how he handles it. Especially if he doesn't particularly want it to be that way. He's already showing you who's running this, how it's going to be. So either you can handle that or you can't. That's up to her. But don't say you don't know.
What's your thought?
I mean, I guess my thing is like if you get married, I mean, was she planning on moving into his house? I mean, like,
see, that's where I was at with that. Go ahead, finish it.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like, what is y'all plans after marriage? Because like, he may have a very rational idea of like what he can do being single versus what he can do being married.
No.
Like what? Like what? What's your thought from a male's perspective?
Because if he's single and it's his house and she ain't living there, he can do whatever he wants.
Okay, and then if they get married,
it's a different conversation.
Now here's my point. So if she moves into his house, just like Kim the go-to girl said, that's his house and his relative's house.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's his relationship with his relatives. Once you marry somebody and the two of you move into a house together, that does not change the dynamic of your relationship with your family unless that person is willing to do that anyway. Now, what we're saying is we are assuming a lot because we don't know what conversations we've had. We don't know what the circumstances are going to be. But as it stands right now, relationship with family is independent of where that relationship occurs. Now, okay. You understand what I'm saying?
I get you. My thing is this part. If she moves into his house, I say it's the family's house, okay? If she moves into his house when they get married and they don't have a house together, she pretty much don't have a say-so.
How is it not? No, because once they get married, it's now their house. See, listen to what we're saying here. We can't expect him to do certain things with his family if it's still his house after they got married. If that's the mindset you're going into this with, we starting off with problems.
Okay, what you got to say, Rugo?
I respectfully disagree.
Go ahead.
Because I think like this. When a person gets married, like, okay, you get married to somebody.
Okay.
Right? I have friends female friends, they got married. And I would say to them, hey, there's certain conversations that we used to have. Not that it was bad with them, but I was like, I don't even know if I have permission to be able to have this conversation with you now. Is it okay? Like I think that once you marry somebody, the family should take the position of understanding that the dynamic of that relationship has changed.
Okay, or you have that family, because we got it and we witnessed it, where they be like, they married so-and-so, they didn't change.
I'm coaching a client to this day as we speak in the exact same situation.
Okay.
If you don't check relationships ahead of time, it does not matter where the relationship is occurring. Because once you get married, if it's still yours versus mine, you are walking into that situation with a problem.
But in this scenario, this woman is believing she hasn't had the conversation. We're
assuming that.
Yes.
She haven't
had a conversation. Go ahead.
She's making the
Let's
assumption
go with that.
This is going to be the life that she is going to be involved in if she should be married with him. But she hasn't had the conversation to say, what is our life together going to look like if we should get married? With the issues with your family.
Well, then this is a moot point then. Because until they have that conversation, we don't know what his position is. He might be thinking the way that Rugel's thinking, or it could be, well, she knew I had my family staying up in here in the first place, and now that we are together, wherever we are, my family is always welcome where I am.
And the other thing,
and that's cool. I think family is welcome.
Yeah.
Because I'm that way though. Not indefinitely. Because that's what's happening.
Right? We're talking about indefinitely.
But this is the thing though. You raised though. You ain't say they was engaged. You ain't even say that was his girlfriend. You said they were dating.
Okay, well,
should I marry him?
Should I marry?
I should marry under these circumstances.
Yeah. But if she just in the dating stages, she didn't say this is my boyfriend. This is my only, person.
Well, I'm going to assume that if this is the person I should marry.
Let's assume they in a monogamous one-on-one relationship.
Okay,
and they
live separate. She got her own spot.
Okay,
they live separately.
Right.
So obviously they haven't. First of all, it's a good thing they live in separately because then they can really work on what their relationship is. The other thing is though, I think that once they start to have that conversation of what it means to help family, then you have an expectation on if you want to marry that person or not.
And that's across the board. It's not just family. It's money. It's priorities. It's everything. Yeah. Conversations have to occur.
It's pets.
That's everything.
Pets.
It's pets.
Yes.
Y'all
you do. Yeah.
Where the hell is y'all cat at? I've never seen this cat around here. This cat don't exist. There's no scent of cat.
They're funny. Everybody
no scent of feline. I seen the cat like 1 or 2 times, and I don't know if it was a poster or not. You know what I mean? This is the kind of pet environment you want. I would do this. I would do this. Yeah. Like, I mean, not even see it, but like you don't see the remnants.
You don't smell it. You don't see it.
Yeah,
it's the cat real.
living here.
That's the cat real. Isn't that funny? Because a lot of people said it. It's like, you ain't got no cat.
You ain't got no
cat.
I
do.
And that's the thing.
No, I've never seen a cat. I didn't know it was a cat until you just asked about the cat. I'm thinking cat or
like cat. You don't like not a scent, like the cat be picking up behind itself. Got a little dustpan. Jeez, one of those little lint rollies.
Let me clean up my mess. That is so funny.
Yeah, I think that the conversations have to occur before because, like he made the perfect point. What does it mean to help family? When we say our family's in a crisis and something is going on, how do we help them without intruding on each other's space?
Okay, so if the family isn't in a crisis, but they not a crisis, they just okay, well, I just want to come. Okay, let's say for instance, okay, Rugel, you got a nephew and a niece, and let's say your nephew and niece comes and they're okay, I want to stay with you because they like your situation better.
Yeah.
And it's okay, well, I'm just gonna stay with you, and then you dating somebody
Well, in my situation, I would probably say that if they had to live with me, first of all, I would have to empty out a cupboard somewhere for them to live because I don't get no space. but the other thing is but they can stay with your
older.
Yeah,
How
I got
old are
sisters. Well, they like 18 and
His is
11,
18.
12 or something like that. 11.
I'm guessing these are adults because
And
that's what it is.
Are these working adults? What are the situation of the adults? The adults, okay.
Well, I you know what? Because the thing is, let's establish this. If they're in a situation where they got
let's say 30s, early 30s.
Do they have to live with you, or are they doing so just because it's convenient for them to do so?
I'm gonna go. I think it could. Let's go with convenience.
Yeah, I was going to say
instead of have to, because have to is usually like a crisis or something.
Yeah, but convenience is like I choose to live with you. We're roommates. Versus like.
Okay, but that's what I'm thinking, right?
I mean, like it sounds like there's something that triggered them living there, and it could have just been him being like, "Hey, come stay here." You know what I mean?
No, they said, like, "Hey, I'm here."
Right. I'll be there.
So it's a crisis situation, and he didn't turn his back on him.
No, it's not a crisis situation.
I'm gonna tell you a situation. I'm gonna tell you a situation that occurred with me personally.
Okay.
I'm dating this guy exclusively, okay? Go there, I'm visiting, and we went out to dinner. Well, when we go out to dinner, I'm watching, boom, no biggie, the next day come, I'm talking to my homegirl, you know, hey, how you doing? She over there, hey, we chopping it up. Well, a nephew comes and just goes in the refrigerator. I watched the nephew eat my leftovers.
But what leftovers was it?
It was good leftovers that I put in the refrigerator. It was my dinner.
Sound like if he'd been there, he would have
He would have ate it too. But no, I'm saying this actually occurred. Right. This happened, and I just watched. Now here's the thing: I wasn't really. If you're around me enough, you know, like when I'm not hungry, I like want a little bit, and then I just put it away. But you know, like the ingredients and stuff soak in, and it's gonna be the bomb the next day. Almost like spaghetti the next day. And I'm talking to my friend, and we sitting there, boom, 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 and I just happen to glance over, and I look, boom, they go in the refrigerator, blah, 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 which is clearly the normal MO.
Right.
That's what they do. And I see myself never asked and said, hey, is this yours or nothing? Because clearly that's the routine. That's what they do. So I'm watching, and they heated it up, ate it. I didn't say a single word, because guess what? Clearly I'm a guest. And the reason I'm a guest, like I said, we was dating exclusively. I'm a guest. That person lives there because they just opened the refrigerator and just took what they want. I'm the guest. So I watch and I look at my food, and then my friend says, she was like, is that your food? Because we was just talking about it. And she's like, is that it? I said, girl, that is it. So the answer to the guy I was dating was, well, I'll take you and we'll get some more. That was a problem for me. He didn't see the big problem because he was like, well, I'll just go and buy you another dinner. Well,
you want your dinner. You want your
I call it only child syndrome all you want.
Yeah.
I
want to do one. I want the one I had.
Yes. Go ahead.
Well, here's like what Kim was saying as far as relationships. Now, one of the main things in that dynamics of what you were just saying, you were dating.
Exclusively.
So, now, but if indeed your household is run a certain way when you are dating, when it becomes a marriage and he brings this wife into the house, now this is our house, and there's some things that will change because you are no longer the guest, because the guest you were a guest
exclusively dating for 3 years.
Yeah. But when you are a guest. But when you come in to the household as the wife, now this is where you live. Some things will change. Even the people that are there, they will change their behaviors because they will listen. When those other people, everything
hair is swinging in here left and right.
Well, because those things will change. Because number one, when you go in, you're living in your place, they're living in their place, right?
Okay.
You have your mother may come over and go into your refrigerator and do different things. His mother may come over and do different things in his house or his family. People do that. But then let me give it to you like this. Like when we're talking relationships, most people have grandparents. The grandchildren come in. The grandma is just
but this ain't the grandparents,
right? But now, if grandma gets married, okay,
the grandkids still gonna come and do what they did.
Not until grandma and granddad gonna have a conversation because now granddad live in the house. You can't just go in there and eat his leftovers because the kids are used to going in grandma's refrigerator, just having this.
I kind of agree with what she's saying. I do.
But then they don't like grandpa. Go ahead.
Well, but they have to.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
This is where I see the issue. Now, you guys have been dating for how long?
3 years at this time.
Did this nephew know you?
Yes, very well.
And he's known you to be at the house?
Yes.
This is how I know there's a problem. Because when he went to the refrigerator, even though you were the guest, he didn't ask his uncle, is this somebody's or can I have it? The relationship that he has with his uncle in his uncle's house is you are welcome to what I have.
Right.
That is the relationship. Now,
that's why I said having a wife move into their home.
That's right. You could have been
still his home.
Because if he didn't think enough to even ask his uncle, can I have it? The mindset message there is, I'm welcome to it. Now, if you guys get married and it is understood that you know and the husband knows that he was welcome to your stuff like that, he's not welcome to our stuff like that, and then things are set in motion that way, that's different. But you have to look at the interpersonal relationship of the people that you are marrying into.
Yes.
You cannot assume that because you guys are married now, the dynamic that existed for 100 years before you showed up is going to change. Don't assume that. That's why I'm getting paid coach money today for that same situation. It's working for them. It ain't working for you.
I got it.
Go ahead.
First of all, I'm going to ask for an extension of the show. If you don't get this sound, I'm asking for that now 20 minutes before it even ends.
Okay.
But I kind of feel like, well, what's that dynamic between the nephew and the uncle? You know, is it that child? Is it almost like a child-parent relationship?
Yes. I would say that
it has to be.
Yeah. Because I had a situation where it was like I was like, well, I'm canceling Christmas, right? I said that, but I had bought one gift. Who did I buy that gift for? My son.
And nobody else getting that.
That was an issue. Well, where's my gift? No. I was like, I know him for like 24 years. You know what I mean? Like 23 and 9 and 10 months. I know him. You know what I mean? He the only one getting a gift. You know what I mean? You know, and so but I had to change that. Christmas is now on, unfortunately. Not the spiritual part. The spiritual part was also go on, but the
Christmas back on, right?
Part, yeah. You know? But I kind of felt like if my son is in college and stuff, but if he came in the house and he went to the refrigerator and he took something, I may be wrong for this, but I'll be like, okay, that's all right.
And you're married now.
And I'm married. And that would be wrong of me in that marriage. However, kids are forever.
His relationship with his son overrides
his relationship with his wife.
It does, because
and it's not by design.
Uh-huh.
His relationship with his son is very well established forever by the time anybody else comes along. If his son does not go into the refrigerator now and say, "Dad, is this yours?" It didn't have to be somebody else's. He understands that dad is okay with it because I'll just go ahead and give me another one. I'll fuss you out and then go get what I want. If that's the dynamic of their relationship, you the newbie. You better think about that.
Because guess what? His nephew is going to be a bigger match for him if he needs a kidney. So yeah, I got some spare parts over here. I'll make sure those spare parts take care of.
You did.
Yeah, that's the one.
Honestly, though, I will say that sometimes in cases like that, you have that relationship, and yes, this is what you're used to, and then when you do it, it's like, oops, I didn't know. And now you know the next time when I see her, who doesn't live here but is a guest, I need to ask before, because now the incident has happened. And so now you are quickened in your thoughts. You cannot do what you usually do when it's just you and because now there's another guest in the house. But when it's a marriage, then you already know the guest is not a guest. That's Unc's wife, and this might be her stuff.
And see,
I ain't a guest either.
Right.
You got to figure it out.
When I said guess, I was air quoting it,
Mi casa,
because
su casa.
Nephew's not a guest either. Nephew feels that as long as this is uncle's home, it's my home.
Entitlement.
That's how he
Entitlement.
feels.
Yes.
That's
Like
their
my uncle's house.
relationship.
And oh, my house, and they got some. They made some good.
because
oxtail.
what to me, I just feel like I felt like even like in that situation, I didn't say anything because I just watched it happen. And it was silly because I'm talking to my girl and she was like, I was like, oh, I can't wait to do blah, 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 blah. You know, because I'm talking about this meal. It was off the hook. Okay. But clearly everything is fair game. Like me, everything is not. Like if I have some butter pecan ice cream in there and it's mine, it's a personal one, I expect to go back and get it, even with my relationship with my children. Period.
Because relationship has nothing to do with where you are or who you're married to. It is established prior to that relationship. Because he didn't even say, that's hers, don't eat it.
He didn't know. He
didn't know.
He wasn't inside.
So did he tell him not to do that again?
No, he went and bought some more.
See? Because that relationship is there.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think he did. But yeah, that relationship is there. And see, this is where I'm going with. Even like, let's go back to the girl. So in my situation, I gave y'all a true story of what happened. So let's say if I go and I marry this guy and I move into that house, I will never feel like it's mine. I would feel like I'm a guest at all times because these people, that's their stuff. This is their relationship, like you said. Now, if you don't move into their house and you get a house together, guess what? Their relatives will now say, oh, this is blanks and blanks house. And guess what? Now they'll start asking. But if they were already there since forever.
That is not understood. That's an assumption.
They could say, it's your house too. You got a right to say whatever.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen, then I'm going ham. I'm going ham.
But he's right. He's right. The relationship, I don't care where my mother lives. I have access to my mother and her stuff. I don't care where she lives.
Damn right.
I mean, you can't assume that the sanctity of marriage protects you from that. You have to know before you marry that person that no matter where you live, you come first with your partner in that marriage. Period. Because if family still has the ability to oh my gosh, I hope they're listening. I hope you are listening. I'm coaching people right now for this. Once you allow it once, paper ain't changing that. If you have decided that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person and we're going to build a marriage together, all of those little quirks have to be worked out ahead of time, no matter where you live, because Rugal made the point. I don't care where they go. That's still mine. I can still do this.
In some situations.
But you have to clarify that. Don't assume that.
Because like one thing I had to, and I try not to get too personal, but one issue I have is like, it's like kind of like, there's nothing going on. Let's have a party, y'all. You know what I mean? This instant party. You know, and that ain't really her thing. No instant parties.
Yeah, I mean, he went right down. First, he was excited, then he was like, no instant parties.
No instant parties.
So
I'm just saying, don't assume anything. That's something that you have to talk about and work out ahead of time. Because you assume that if you're going in with the mindset that you're moving into my house or I'm moving into your house, you are already separating the straws from the beginning. You don't want to do that. You tell your family, even though they're moving into the house that I lived in first, I lived here first because it is no longer mine. It is now ours.
Yeah, okay.
You have to clarify those things.
But I'm just looking at. Look, I'm looking at the thing. I was like, I said, should this be the one? No. Interesting, because everything else could pan out, and it's so funny because when you look at it, you know, and we're going off of an assumption that the person, all the stuff that he does, look at me looking at the little paper, seems to pan out and is perfect. The issue is these other people. That's what it almost sounded like. And like you just said, you can't just assume that it's just going to go away. Because they're going to be there. And not that you want them to go away. I don't think that she wants them to
it's
go
not
away.
Yes, you do.
She want them to
She
go away.
want all of y'all want them to go away.
But you know what
You don't
it
want
is?
us to have no friends, no family, no nothing. No sports, no nothing.
No pop-up parties?
We can't eat what we want. We can't have pop-up parties. We can't do nothing.
Listen,
Horrible.
You can have a pop. See, with me, you can have a pop-up party with me. I'm down for it. But the only thing is, don't include me in on your pop-up party, meaning to do the work and the cleanup. If you want a pop-up party, you can have it. Just make sure that you hosting it and you kicking it and the kitchen clean, and then I'm cool. Don't include me in on your pop-up party.
Pop-up party take care of itself. Pop-up party take care of itself.
Not when you got a spouse.
Pop-up, exactly, because they the ruiners of pop-up parties. Pop-up party take care of itself.
And then afterwards, you sitting there like, oh, I'm tired, and then the house look a mess after your pop-up party.
Pop-up party take care of itself.
How does it take care of itself?
Because pop-up party. That's all you need to know.
Just pop-up party, just come.
Because it's usually like, okay, you got what you got, I got what I got. We gonna have this thing here, and it's pop-up party.
We're gonna play some cards, and but who cleaning?
Pop-up party take care of itself.
Yeah, okay. Like I said. Who cleaning? Be like, don't include me in your pop-up party. I'll be like, girl, you having a pop-up party. I'm out.
I'm just saying it just happened because it's like exclusively this amount of people. If they want their food or whatever, you better bring something to eat. I ain't got nothing. Pop-up party.
They rock though. Pop-up parties bang. I ain't gonna lie, they do. They bang. You be like, oh, we playing some cards. Get the cards out.
Yeah, if you getting extravagant, we be like karaoke, y'all, everything. Telling you.
Yeah, somebody got to clean up.
Pop-up party.
As long as you cleaning up. Now back to this. Look, I'm like, back to this. What about when the family? Now you know, like I know. Mm-hmm. You always get that one be like, yeah, they used to be this, but now they didn't get when they blame the spouse. Like her scenario was the grandparents, the granddad. Mm-hmm. So it's like now you mad at the granddad.
No,
you mad at that person. They ain't the same. They done change.
I don't know. The grandparent situation really rang true to me because my grandmother, she gave dialysis to my step grandfather, I suppose it would be, and so it was certain days where we knew we couldn't go over there, or whatever because he was just recovering or whatever. So we kind of got around it. You know what I mean? If
that's an illness, so yeah, you'll be a scumbag.
But it's still an accommodation.
You'll be a scumbag if you was like, man, can't even go over there and get down.
You're like, you 10-year-old scumbag, come over here. I don't care if you miss your grandmother or not. She's not giving you any damn butterscotch. Yeah.
That's a little.
But we were told that. We had to be told that. And I don't even think she actually told us. I think my mother told me. When I think back on it, yeah, my grandmother didn't say it. My mother told us.
Oh, she said we ain't allowed over there on these days.
Yeah, but she said it as if it was a request of my grandmother's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to hurt your feelings. Your grandmother didn't want to hurt your feelings. I know you come and visit me, but you can't come on Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah.
Look at him. Yeah. Listen to let me tell you. Can I share that one story about New Year's?
Oh, go ahead. I don't know what story it is, so I'll say
every year on New Year's he spent with his grandma.
Yeah, I do.
And isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. And then he got married, and somebody wasn't happy that I don't blame her. I'll be like your wife, like, we got to go spend with your grandmother. No, she thought she was about to, like, go out, y'all about to do the whole thing, and you got to go spend it with. How old is your grandma?
My grandmother I think she be lying, because she been hovering around this age for a little bit. I was like, you older than this. I don't know why you lying, you old lady. But she like 80. I think she's 89, but I think she's 91.
Okay.
But I do have a grandmother that is 91.
And guess what? That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Now, who is a newlywed that want to go spend, no offense, New Year's with a 91-year-old? I'll be like, what? Like, even though, like you said, the relationship, this is something that he did before.
That's what he's always done.
That's what I'm saying. So things aren't going to change because it's a newbie.
And they might change. But if they do change, it's because he has made the decision. Grandma, I'm going to go hang out with her this year. We're going to do this, and I'll come and see you tomorrow. I mean,
what?
See? But if he doesn't do that, she knew that ahead of time.
Yeah.
That's just that.
But listen, that
He's looking like he
ain't seen that wrong with
I
it.
can't even understand why Kim just said that is how he is looking. But because
this is
I need some popcorn.
This is my New Year's Eve. My New Year's Eve is usually I have to work at least a day or half a day or whatever on that day. So I end up cooking and whatever because I want to have the New Year's meal at New Year's. You know, and
You ready at 12?
Yeah, party, y'all, pop a party. Got
Okay.
food,
Okay.
Right.
black-eyed peas and
all that.
sauerkraut.
everything, the whole spread.
And you're the first man in the house for the year,
Because
so
I'm
you have
coming
it
in
all
with the food.
covered.
Yes.
I got it covered. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that's how I spend it. I mean it's good, it's wholesome, and it's family. How can you go wrong with that?
Okay. What about your wife?
It's
She just
good.
gotta-
It's fun. And it's
wholesome.
family.
But
And
see,
it's
she,
wholesome.
Points for the life coach because this is it right here.
yeah,
But
I'm like,
guess
so
what?
she just gotta put
She
up
can-
and shut
if
up.
she don't- if
This
she don't
is
wanna
the
do-
relationship outrides where it occurs.
If she don't want to do that, then she can do whatever she wants to.
There she
You what? You're
She
not
go
gonna
to
spend
town. Go do your thing.
because
But-
you gonna do yours.
Yeah, I should be entitled to have that. It's only one day of the year.
It's
a-
New Year's Eve.
And
It's his
every day is a
tradition
blessing. Every
with-
day you wake up should be a new year. Embrace it.
That's it.
Is that what
You don't have to agree. You just have to
Real
acknowledge.
medical moment,
I
quoties.
That's what it is. Is that one of yours? Yes, it's a
Every
new
day
year,
should be
new
a
day.
new
Every
year.
day.
Yeah.
Yes, it should be.
Embrace
Embrace
you,
it.
be you, all
Ah.
to you.
He is
I remember
hilarious.
the ending credits go on this show.
Ah!
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like that was good for me. Like if people were like, I'm going to church. I'm like, okay, y'all do that. I'm going to GM's. I never called her GM. That's the first time it don't really sound right. I'm going to grandma's.
Okay.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
And that is really nice. She probably. Do you think she appreciate it, or she want to spend New Year's turn up with her husband?
Well,
And they'd be like, well, he's coming over.
well,
We
the
got to
thing-
put up with him.
Well, the thing was there was like when she was married or whatever, like if they did something that was different, but it was times where she wasn't and everything like that. And it was times where she had companions and stuff like that, and we had the party. How you gonna turn out free food? I mean, this is top-notch free food, probably made by one of the best cooks in the world.
I heard that.
Like, how you gonna turn that down?
I heard that a mess.
You do. You have to look at the relationship. That is just something she has to realize. New Year's Eve, we hanging out with grandma.
That was horrible.
That
Nah, because I'm replaying the whole thing in my head though now. But it's okay.
it's
you
okay.
still do it, right?
It's good trauma.
But you still do it, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You said you doing it this year?
Every year.
Okay.
Oh, so it wasn't that luck.
All right,
Every
now.
year. And then in the years to come. And many more.
So
Is Kim Ham the go-to girl?
yeah, look. Back to now the live studio audience. What is your take on that part? So they're not one person has to move in with the other person if they get married, if they both have houses, and with all that going on. How would that situation work?
You asked
Have
the
you
live
never
studio
sweet tart,
audience.
Rugal?
You asked the live studio audience?
Yes, the live studio audience, because I just feel like if you're walking into it, just like Kim said, you know what you're getting into, and are you willing to sign up for it? Because that person is not going to change. I just don't see it.
And they might, but you can't expect them to. That's the difference. I mean, we're assuming that this guy is just going to let it be whatever because that's the way it is now. He might change, but if he does not check that, can you handle it? Because what that really is the preview of what's to come with other situations. If it's okay for people to come into the house and stay there and go into the fridge and do whatever they're doing, there may be other circumstances that arise throughout the relationship where that's just what our family does. Can you handle it or not?
Go ahead.
And and that can happen, but sometimes it's because of your singleness. This is what is around you. This is your company. This is your family. But then when you get a spouse, now your spouse is your family. They are still your family.
No, they ain't.
They are still your family. Your mom is going to be your mom. Your nephews and nieces, all of the above. Your children, they're going to still be yours. But now this is a closer knit of the oneness of the two. And sometimes you don't have to clean house when it's just you. This is the people that are around you. You don't have to sit in your house all day by yourself daily and you're single. But once you get a significant other, and I'm not talking about a boyfriend and a girlfriend, I'm talking a marriage. Now the dynamics change. I can change the structure of things because the structure of my life has changed. I don't have to do this beforehand because I don't know where this is going. But if I marry you, then now it is the two become one. And we're going to have all of these conversations because what's important is for us as a unified body to come together and work out things to please one another. But for me to just say to my kids this way, then this one this way, and we're just dating. We're dating.
Yeah. And my thing is like,
it
why?
Changes. The dynamics change.
And it always seems
But you
gotta
don't
change.
Oh,
Why can't the pop-up party still exist?
No,
I gotta change. Like, I'm not asking other people to change.
The party can still exist.
The pop-up
Right.
party.
If this is who you are, that's a part of who you are. That's not a pop-up party every day.
But if you plan
and
the
your
pop-up
boys,
party, it's not a pop-up party, and therefore it's ruined by the definition of pop-up party.
So he's saying just a pop-up party, but
where your man came
All
at?
I'm saying is see the marriage mindset before the wedding day. If you think that now we're married, this changes because we're really listening to the voice of maturity over here. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are. You're coming from that position of maturity, and unfortunately, we don't see all of that all of the time.
That's right.
We just don't. What I'm saying is, if marriage and is going to change the mindset of I'm no longer single, I'm married, and I'm responsible to this person, you might want to make sure you're seeing that before the wedding, because ceremony and signing papers with the state does not change people.
and see, and that's where I'm at. And you don't want to come in talking about telling somebody what they can and can't do. See, that's what otherwise it'll be like, oh, well, they can't come over here no more after you decide to get married. Well, wait a minute, this is what they were doing because I know can't nobody come and tell me.
That's what he's talking about the pop-up parties.
But can't nobody come? I'm being honest. There's nobody. You can come and you see this is the way that it rolls over here. And then you come in and you telling me that I can't do what I normally would do.
Well, and
that's an issue.
And you know why that's an issue? Is because the two people don't relate. You don't relate. You can want somebody that you can be cute
relate
together, but most people have something else in common.
Now, this is what I'm gonna say. Even like for me, like with my niece and nephew, if they come, yeah, they can be here, but you got a time limit. I'm like, give them the go-to girl, huh? Well, how long? Well, what's going on? If it's a crisis, that's totally different because I'm the same way. However, you just can't, and I think the mind come and open the refrigerator. They do. You know what I'm saying? They do that. However, they'll say, Aunt Mel, can I have? That's what they'll do. They'll say, Aunt Mel, can I? Just out of mere respect. But if a guy came along and he's like, okay, and he's moving in, yeah, it would be different. So I always put myself in other folks' shoes. I do. But you don't want to be that person to say, okay, this got to stop, shut down. I mean, you don't want to be that person either. But like, this got to stop, boom. Because I'd be like, if somebody came and be like, oh no, they can't do that. You'd be like, wait a minute, this is how it was. Now you are trying to tell me what I can and cannot do. So that's why I'm saying, now if you had a house together, guess what? I believe, and not just for that way, when you go into a brand new house together, both of you guys, boom, married, and it's your house together and not one, because guess what? Believe it or not, just like this is Aunt Mel's house. That's what they say. Oh, this is Aunt Mel's house. You do what you do, just like you said with your grandmother. Mm-hmm. But if you are married, and now it is Aunt Mel and Uncle so-and-so, so then you come in different. The people come in as a guest. And not their home, and not the one person with the other, whoever it is, whoever house it is, and feel like it's their own. Now, I know some females that have an issue with moving in with a guy, moving into his home that he's already had established.
Because it's his.
It's his. Because you got the mom, you got everybody that come over there. But when you have your own together, there is no, it's his. So even mom, when she comes, it's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think all of
Like my mother got a key to my house.
Yeah.
So if I get married, what?
Your mother has a key to your house.
Key to your house, yeah. Yeah.
But your mother...
My mother's a little different.
will not just walk up in your house if your husband is living there with you. Mel, are y'all decent? Is it okay if I mean, you're expecting some level.
Wow,
of
get
respect
that now. Because we'll find somebody, I said pimp till he proposed. She just be walking in. I ain't got none of that. I don't be like that for real.
Right.
But still, it's like,
Right.
What if I got company? Don't know.
Everybody teaches other people how to treat them. Everybody teaches other people how to approach and respect their boundaries. All of these things happen as individuals. When you bond with someone else, you're going to take whatever they were taught to be treated like and put it with what you were taught to be treated like, and you have to see how that's going to turn out. Lessons have to be learned when you put all of that together.
Okay. What you think?
I just think it's a popularity contest, and whoever's the most popular should win.
Listen.
So if I'm more popular and they want to, and then my rules should roll because I'm the more popular person.
Well, me being a mother, if my daughter had a husband and I had a key to her house, I'm not going to use the key.
Maturity in the room.
I'm not going to use the key unless she's out of town or whatever, and she asks me, can you go to the house and get A, B, C, and D? Right. Or I'm locked out of the house, da-da-da-da. He's out of town. Can you do this? And he left his key.
What? Now,
I just said your mother is not just going to walk up in your house.
Yeah.
When you're married.
Because, my mom.
What about when you ain't married?
My mom's married. My
you
sister.
still.
I'm having company.
Yeah,
Call me.
I'm having company.
No, you should be. Hey, do you have company still?
Right now.
Would you say this ain't the time?
I'm sorry, I mean, things I got a headache.
You see the white towel on the doorknob, don't come in.
but that thing with the key, like, because I had a key to my siblings' house and my mom's house, and they were married. And when she got married, like the husband didn't even, I don't even knew I don't think he knew that I had a key. But I would never like use it like, hey, I'm coming over here, let me unlock the door, and everybody's sitting in there. I mean, that sounds like crazy. I'm knocking on the door. I'm still knocking on the door and stuff because it ain't, the reason I had the key wasn't because of, it wasn't because, you can go in here. It was like, you may need to help out in a certain capacity.
Yeah, and before my brother got married, I would just walk up into his house, go to his house unannounced all the time. He could come to my house. But now that he's married, I don't do that.
Okay. Out of mere respect.
Right, and it wouldn't matter if he was in her house, she was in his house, if they were in their house. I wouldn't do that. But that's the relationship that we've established prior to him marrying anybody.
Yeah. So, like, if you walked up in there and nobody was home, and you started watching, like, cartoons and eating Cheetos. And she came home, and she came there and she saw you, would it be like, what are you doing here? You'd be like, hey, how you doing? You're like, still watching Powerpuff Girls.
You want some? Check out Buttercup.
Yeah.
So, I think that what we're saying is change the codes and all that good stuff if you plan on getting married. Because think about it, somebody got, like, the key. Somebody got the code to everybody coming up in there. Like, who does that?
But she wouldn't come up in there like that. She wouldn't.
If the whole family, like he said, he got a key. Do you take the keys back?
Sometimes what people do, they will spook themselves on stuff that would not even happen. Do you remember seeing this movie?
Oh, no, that happened.
No. Oh, my gosh. The Runaway Bride. Did you ever see that?
The Runaway Bride.
I never seen that whole thing.
If things were getting closer to just start running away, it's like this could happen. That
the runner.
happen.
I am the runner.
There could be all kinds of stuff
I
am the runner.
No, that's not going to happen.
Right.
But it's like, but this might.
Listen, if I'm talking, let me be clear. When I share with you guys, when I say this actually happened, it actually happened. Yes, I have an issue. Well, can you just imagine sitting there and then just like he said, using the key, he got a key to his sister's home and she's married. He just wouldn't use it just to come in. But if that's your regular routine, like you said, that's what's going to happen. That has happened. As I was a guest 3 years in. And it was like, oh, okay. Because it's just, and you used to the people, so it's like, okay, it's just family. But that has happened. So you wonder, like, do you go and collect the keys? Like, all right, everybody give me your keys back. Or do you just leave it as such? And just like you said early on at the beginning. No, but what she said at the beginning, you can't walk around comfortable.
Just change the locks. You're married now. Change the locks.
Let me tell you what I do. Let me tell you what I do from the openness. So when I would go up there, guess what I did? I put the other locks on the door. Mm-hmm. I was like, boom, boom. I put the other locks. Because see, and that's just anywhere. Because when people could come through, I just don't want to wake up with somebody standing over my face. Now, I had an incident where somebody actually broke in and I woke up and somebody was over my face. So I think that might have a lot to do with it, even being younger, where it's like, no, everything needs to be locked because I remember it like it was yesterday. How old was I?
About 10.
See? And somebody had broke in and they were standing right over me. I woke up and it was a stranger in my face that had broken in. And I remember screaming. And I had nightmares. So that might be it too, where I'd be like, and I lock all the doors and I know everybody got these codes and everybody don't lock the door the same way. I put all the extra locks on and I want to be comfortable and walk around. I don't want nobody walking up in here like, Well, I wanted to we're going to run through these real quick. Now let's go with the physical aspects of men. Okay? The package. According to Emory University, they did a study. Men with smaller packages are more nurturing.
Not true.
Wow. Well, they mad then. They just mad.
They don't know they package is small.
Men, we're talking the testes here. Testicles. Smaller testicles. They tend to be more nurturing. All right, let me see here. I want
large testicle nurturers.
And some small testicle not nurturers.
Right, exactly.
They're more likely to be involved with the care of like their children, the toddlers. It is what it is. That's according to the Emory University research. That is because men with smaller packages tend to have slightly lower levels of
I was going to say, is this a hormonal thing?
Yes, it is. Yes. We're going to infuse the male medical moments in with this, okay? All right. Also, the eyes are the window into the bedroom. According to UC Berkeley psychologists. Now, men with red eyes, larger eyelids, swollen eyes.
Red eyes?
Yeah, red eyes.
Okay.
Swollen eyes.
So
dark circle under their eyes. I said we're going to infuse it with male's medical moments, okay?
Okay, all right.
You're going to be arguing a lot. Okay. Yeah, see? The pop-up party. Guess why? You'll be arguing a lot. Why? Because he's sleepy.
I was ready to say he must be tired.
Yeah, he's sleepy. So you're going to be arguing a lot. Yes. Let's talk about the voice. Small guys have voice envy. Is that true?
Small guys have voice envy?
Uh-huh.
That's kind of... Because most guys that I've seen that are shorter in stature usually have deeper voices in some cases.
Really? Some.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's more like, but... Yeah, because it was this guy the other day. I was in the store and I was like, "Damn, did that come from him?" Like, yeah, and we such and such. I'm like, no.
And they say that men with deep voices tend to have larger bodies.
Well, that might just be science.
That deep voice can also feel aggressive, causing you to feel like you're walking on eggshells. So, hey, next. The snuggle test. Do you have a spooner? Is he a spooner? Men that are spooners, they usually suffer from anxiety and tend to require much more personal space.
That are spooners?
Mm-hmm.
So you spoon, but you want more personal space.
Yeah, I messed that up.
Okay.
Much wider area, meaning not of space, togetherness. Let me read my notes that I wrote. Clingy, spooner, anxiety, suffers. They need that closeness.
All right.
I need that personal space. Give me 7 inches at least. Like, you like space.
Yeah.
So they say they suffer from anxiety.
You have a whole other bedroom.
Look at him. He is a mess, ain't he?
I'm telling you, man. I'm like, shoot. Too much closeness.
Spoon, I don't know any guys that are like really clingy. Look, I heard deep breath.
I know some, but I
do you know guys that's clingy?
Yeah.
I'm the runner. Where my skates?
Ultra clingers.
They got anxiety issues.
I don't know. Is it anxiety or is it just?
They say it's anxiety issues. So probably something as a child. What was it that you feel more comfortable and safe? It's like Linus with his blanket.
And maybe I'm just laissez-faire. I don't care, man. I'm like, go ahead. Like, oh, you'll be back in a week. Okay.
Let's talk about cleanliness according to the University of Minnesota. If a male is very clean and neat, he is most likely stable.
Huh. Well, I was always going with if you weren't clean and neat, that you were a genius. So I guess
that could possibly be it too.
That's my line. That's what I'm
That's
going
it. You
with.
ain't got time to clean.
You got time to clean. I'm a genius.
Yes, that is what is said. How about that one? And I guess I can see it. But guess what, Rugal? If you have a messy desk, they say that you are more creative.
Yep.
Well,
so there's the genius.
Yeah, it's like my workspace is never really messed up. It's just the other stuff.
All right. Do you like spicy food?
I do.
Okay.
Do I go and say I got to have something hot? No, but I like,
On the menu, you order spicy food? Okay. Well, according to Penn State, the spicy food guy is probably a risk taker.
All right.
Well, we got that part of it. And guess what? He's like the alpha male. Usually alpha men like spicy food. And usually have more testosterone.
Okay.
So he's a manly man.
Manly man.
Manly man.
He got hair on his chest because he all the high foods. Huh?
So, guess what? You could eat, if you're a beta man, go and eat spicy food. Go and eat spicy food. Take risks. Get out there. Do what you got to do. All right, let me get this footnote out the way. I enjoyed you. You got any last words?
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. Happy holidays. All that stuff.
Yeah, we got to touch bases on this. Let's do this real quick. What is a great Christmas gift for someone who has everything?
I think it's more or less knowing that person. And I think it would be a thing that it would probably be an experience. Like, what's the experience you can offer that person? Even though they've had it before, it's just like, oh, okay, this is what they enjoy. Let's say it's a massage, they're like, hey, I like getting massages. Even though they can afford to pay for it themselves, you flip the bill for them.
Oh, okay.
Quality time. I know people who like quality time.
Look at me, like quality time with the individual.
It could be for something that they like.
Like, just give me your gift.
Because if they already have everything, that means that they are probably, well, I'm not going to say that. A lot of times people who have everything they need are givers.
Yes.
So allow them to receive.
So what would you give that giver when they can purchase it themselves or they have everything?
Okay, I'll use it. My mother has everything, but she bowled all the time. So she knew that for birthdays and Christmas, she was going to get something to wear bowling.
Okay.
Feed the hobby. Feed the issue that
I like that. Feed the hobby. Yeah. Okay.
I agree with what you said as far as quality time, but there is something, even if it's something quirky, that you like and that you want to add to them.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so the new experience, open them up to something new.
Okay. Instead
of the massage, but like, hey, hot rock therapy. Is that what it's called?
Man, I would love to see hot rock. Man, I would love.
Wait, you said give.
That's what she want, y'all. Hot rocks.
No, I wasn't going to say for me. I would love to be a fly on the wall to see them get a hot rock. Man, that would be. Yeah, that would be so funny. That would be funny.
Shopping with her when she's shopping for other people is funny because she'll get what she likes. But then she'll like it so much that she likes it for her. Yeah. Well, I'm going to get this for me. And then I'll get this for them. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You know what? I like that too. And then so she's got all this stuff for her, and
nothing
I
for the
go
person.
back and go shop because I still didn't get them anything.
That's how I go. I shop for me. I blow it.
Like, what would I
Or
like?
she would get so excited when she did find something early for the children, and then she'd show it to them. So then she has to go back and get them something
No,
else.
yeah. I'm like, oh, they can like
that
this.
they'll be surprised about.
Interesting. All right, here's today's footnote. If you want a relationship that looks and feels like the most amazing thing on earth, you need to treat it like it is the most amazing thing on earth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. Follow us on all the social networks at Shop Talk with Mel, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And also follow the go-to girl, Kim Hamilton. Is it totally? Kim Hamilton, the go-to girl. The salon was Ham's Beauty and Barber. That's why I went that way. Also, Rugo, you going to go to the movies for Christmas?
Yeah, probably.
And let us know what's happening?
I will.
All righty. Any last words for the girl that said, is this the guy for her to marry? Everything pans out. It's just all that extra stuff.
I think that she probably needs to have the conversation about the extra stuff and not be afraid. Don't be afraid, because sometimes that the extra stuff is so amplified because of fear.
Ooh, that's
Bridget!
you think it's fear?
It is.
Everybody out.
Everybody out. So
I like him. I don't know about y'all yet. Everybody out, but your mama can stay.
You know what? You know what? That's a funny thing, but that's real. And I remember an uncle that said, I'm not related to all those people. Unfortunately, you marry that person, you get this whole bucket full of people. but that's real. That's real.
Now,
Even in a lot of friendships, it's like, no, I just want to be around that person right there, male or female. Like, all your other friends, can you just keep those for yourself? Why do we have to go to lunch and you bring all your other friends?
now
Maybe
that's
just-
I'm like that though, for
Yeah.
real. I'm like, we
So
going
it's like,
to
yeah,
social.
you can
I'm
have
like,
your
no, they got
friends
it.
And I have my other friends, but when we get together, let's just, you and I just laugh about some stuff, because they may not, you don't want to discuss everything with the whole group, so.
I'm getting
that's normal.
I'm getting a little better. I had a friend that I invited over to my house, and she brought a friend. She brought a +1, and I told her to leave with her +1 because I seen him coming to the door. I was like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, I thought y'all was cool. Y'all at work. We work together. This is my house. I invited you to my house. I didn't invite mine. No." I was like, "Oh, I'm cool."
don't be a pop-up party ruiner.
You don't want to lose yourself. And Shop Talk is always talking about being you, find you, embrace you, and most importantly, love you, right?
you. Yes.
So you don't want to lose yourself. You want to be able to be who you are, they be who they are, and then let's come together and be us.
Yes, and don't lose you from everybody snatching you. How about that?
How about that? Yeah.
And then you ain't got nothing for me because they didn't wore you out.
Just have the conversation.
You're right. And you can't be afraid to have it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of feel like this is really like one-sided, though.
Do you?
Yeah, like
In what way?
we're the guys' perspective on this.
See,
Are
that's-
they
I knew he was going
alienating
there.
that?
I knew-
I'm
Are they
waiting on you
alienating
to
the
tell
family?
us. That's
I'm
what you're
just
waiting
saying,
the whole show.
We like, hey, come together. Like, okay, I got friends, we got friends, we all got friends. Round table of friends.
And that's cool.
Pop-up party.
Papa party.
All that.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
y'all just be like, y'all just want to just like, listen.
Have everything in order.
Just squash the fun. Like where's
No
the
spontaneity.
Yeah, where's
Nah, I'm the most spontaneous person out.
Okay,
Twice a year.
Yeah, twice a year.
Twice a year.
Twice a year. Okay.
Because I need some order.
What is that
But
like?
you know what? You should have that conversation, because that's serious with you. Because people talk about what they care about. Oftentimes people say, oh, I don't care about that. But listen to them.
But
They
you
talk
do
about
care.
what they care about. Pop-up parties is real important to you.
It is.
Clearly.
Yeah, it's called, let's have this conversation, because I need to have pop-up
And,
parties.
and he used to have it. You know what I think my issue would be with this whole situation?
What's that?
I'm about me. And with all these other people, it won't be about me. So let's be real. Do I want to sign up for the rest of my life for it not to be about me?
And watch this. Do you know how, like, you have...
And that might sound selfish, but I'm about me.
Yeah, but if
And if I marry him, it's about us.
Toys. You know, we grew up having toys that we played with, and we had those special toys that we liked.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was a toy that you liked better than others. You might have had, as females, 4, 5, 6 dolls. And you had that one doll that you liked to play with the most. And so if those dolls and those other toys could actually talk, they would probably be saying, what about me? What about me? Because you're always playing with that one. What about me?
Well, that's a great analogy. So this is what I say. You have that doll or you have that toy. And guess what? Everybody can play with all the other ones, but this one you can't. Like my child did. He threw it up under the bed. Now, y'all can play with all the other ones all you want, but this one right here, only special people get to play with this one.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Now, you understand what I'm saying? Y'all ain't going to tear up my toy and expect me to get it back broken. That's what I'm saying. So you keep wearing and weighing on the individual, and it's like take it from them. And guess what? Then the toy all broke up. When it come to me, can't even walk no more because y'all done sat there and done wore them out. Nah, I'm going to need you to be able to walk and talk and all that stuff. Let me get the fun part of it.
Yeah.
See, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, this whole show has sent me to a dark place because I'm remembering the one toy that I lost that I could not find. And I looked for that toy for months.
Don't tear up my toy. Y'all playing with my toy too much. Y'all getting it dirty. Let me shine it back up.
If I can find that toy, I know somebody took that damn toy. If I find out who took it, they didn't say ass.
See? They took the toy.
Why you wasn't looking?
See?
Why you wasn't looking? Somebody took
I'm like,
that
I know
toy.
I could not have lost this toy. Somebody took that toy.
See?
I got mad heat over that whole thing.
See, somebody took the. See what I'm saying? Somebody that took the toy.
Because you wasn't watching.
You wasn't watching, right?
Eye on the toy.
But then y'all say I over. It was at his pop-up party. Yeah, it was at his pop-up party. They stole it.
They stole my toy at the pop-up party, huh? Oh, man.
They done took it. That's what happened. I'm like, but see, that's in a nutshell. Y'all say I amplify things. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's just over the top. See what happened to Rugel's toy?
Yeah.
He looked up, toy was gone.
Yeah.
No more
Where is your
pop-up
toy?
Parties.
Yeah. It made me think too. It was only one other toy that somebody had that I was like, man, I wish I had that toy. And my cousin had a Millennium Falcon.
His cousin, that family.
I was like, you got a Millennium
They
Falcon?
see what I'm saying?
Like it was almost like I got to see it to believe that you have this. And I saw it and I was like, I want that.
Did you ever get it?
No, I never had Millennium Falcon.
Oh man, we got to get you that. The guy that has everything. That's what he want for Christmas.
Millennium Falcon.
Better Google it real
If you
quick.
give me that Millennium Falcon from back then, you would be like, I'm sorry, Rug, I'm going to sell this for like $100,000. You know what I mean? That's like a choice collectible now.
All right, listen. I said we was ending the show, but had to fit that in, obviously. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people. Shut up!